MSME Business Roadshow in Westmoreland, Wednesday, June 18 at Manning School. Take your business to another level and get ready to start, innovate, export, and grow. Join Jamaica's business ministry and gain access to government incentives, financing opportunities, and vital MSME support to fuel your growth. You'll even have the chance to win up to $400,000 in business cash grants. So bring your ideas, your ambition, and your drive. So tune in to CliffViews Online, June 18 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the MSME Business Roadshow in Westmoreland. Catch the live stream on our...
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is...
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
Learn about smart betting strategies with AnyBet. Bet wisely, enjoy responsibly, and maximize your success. The temperature by AnyBet is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, the Auditor General, Pamela Monroe Ellis, has clarified that her office was not questioning the effectiveness of the government's social benefit programs.
This report is speaking to the administration of social benefits. We did not assess the efficacy of the various programs.
And the Housing Ministry says it's not to be blamed for the low performance of the new social housing program.
When the applications come, they are not properly completed, and there has to be this toing and froing and backing and forthing.
Over 10,000 tourism workers have signed up for the government's pension scheme.
Desmond McKenzie confident that the JLP will win the corporate area seats during the next general election.
And the United Independence Congress says it's ready for the upcoming polls.
In news from the rest of the world, Bahamas cancels contracts with Cuban doctors.
Donald Trump demands Iran's unconditional surrender.
In headline sports, South Africa women beat the West Indies by 166 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method in the third ODI at the 3Ws Oval.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, in light of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, how are utility and telecommunications companies preparing? We'll hear from Senior Manager of Communications at Flow Jamaica, Daniel Savori, Digicel's Head of Operations Anthony Burrows, and a representative from JPS.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, were you affected by yesterday's squall? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
In the nation's business at 6:40, the tenure of JTA President Dr. Mark Smith is coming to a close. He'll join us to look back at his presidency.
From 7 to 8, it's Nature's Remedies with Dr. Denise Daly. Tonight we'll be looking at the Dioscorea.
And at 8, it's Prescription for Life with Dr. Andre MacDonald.
And at 9 p.m., it's Affairs of the Heart with Rodney Campbell. Tonight's topic, has being a Gallus become normalized and now accepted as culture?
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide Radio, JM.com, and on the Nationwide app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, rather it's a Tuesday afternoon, it's Tuesday, June 17, 2025.
News at 5 is brought to you by the Crispy Barbecue Zinger from KFC. Back for a limited time with the flavor that makes everything crunch. KFC, it's finger licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis has clarified that her office was not questioning the effectiveness of the government's social benefit programs. The Prime Minister's signature housing program, the new social housing program, had come under scrutiny after it was revealed that the Auditor General flagged instances of overlap and duplication in the delivery of the program. Dr. Holness dismissed the findings as baseless and unfair. But in Tuesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee, Mrs. Monroe Ellis clarified the findings. Mahiri Stewart reports.
Among the programs assessed by the audit were the Municipal Social Assistance Program, the Social Housing Program, the New Social Housing Program, and the Constituency Development Fund. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis concluded that in some instances, the programs had similar objectives and overlapping functions. The audit was seen in some quarters as calling into question the effectiveness of the program. Facing questions in the Public Accounts Committee, Mrs. Monroe Ellis sought to clarify the audit's findings.
This report is speaking to the administration of social benefits. We did not assess the efficacy of the various programs, and I want that to be understood. We're speaking about the administration. It's a fact that there is duplication. It's a fact that there is overlapping. And it is a fact that there is a substantial cost for managing the delivery of the social benefit.
She says while the effectiveness of the programs were not under scrutiny, the duplications that were flagged served to undermine the delivery of benefits to those in need.
Because I don't want it to be misunderstood, the intent, well, not the intent of the audit, but what we are concluding. We're not speaking about overlapping or duplication of benefits paid to beneficiaries. The focus is on the programs. And in fact, we believe that because the program is so fragmented, it serves as a disadvantage to the beneficiaries because they have to be moving from different entities to actually access the benefits and to be aware of the benefits that that's available.
Mrs. Monroe Ellis is urging greater use of technology in administering the benefit programs.
So if you can improve the efficiency through, I heard the PS about the steering committee that meets, but that steering committee is not going to prevent fraud. It's the operational system, it's the database, it's the information system that is managing the process that will aid in that process. And that is what this report is saying. Look, technology exists. We utilize that technology to improve the service delivery and to minimize the cost.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
And Permanent Secretary in the Housing Ministry Arlene Williams says her ministry is not to be blamed for the lower than expected performance of the new social housing program, NSHP. She made the declaration at Tuesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee. The PAC was reviewing the Auditor General's performance audit report on the management of the government's social benefit programs. The NSHP, launched in 2018, was expected to provide 315 houses to indigent persons yearly, with 5 to each constituency. However, it has only provided 292 housing units so far. Ms. Williams says MPs and constituents have failed to accurately complete their applications and that many applications do not own the land intended to be developed.
We try as best as possible, and I really want to give credit to the former PS Audrey Sewell, to look at the applications when they come, and we do not see color because indeed the project oversight committee is chaired by a technocrats and we have civil servants on there. And so each MP has the responsibility of submitting 5 applications, and they'll tell you they are here. When the applications come, they are not properly completed, and there has to be this toing and froing and backing and forth. The land matter, as we say, continue to be an issue. So, when we speak, I just really want it to be in a very holistic way, because we do make every effort in the ministry to ensure that we are meeting the demands.
Arlene Williams, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing. She was responding to concerns raised by MP for Southwest Clarendon, the PNP's Lothan Cousins. But MP for North Clarendon, the JLP's Dwight Sibley, agreed with Ms. Williams. According to him, the ministry has been going above and beyond.
We try as best as possible, and I really want to give credit to the former PS Audrey Sewell, to look at the applications when they come, and we do not see color because indeed the project oversight.
And we apologize for the repeat of that insert. Over 10,000 tourism sector workers have now signed up for the government's pension scheme. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett made the announcement during his contribution to the sectoral debates in the House of Representatives today. He says some $4 billion has been saved through the scheme since its inception.
The world's first comprehensive tourism pension scheme is here and is covering workers from the age of 18 to 65, marking a historic step in the social protection for the sector. To date, Madam Speaker, 10,567 individuals have registered and have contributed $4.3 billion to date.
The Tourism Workers Pension Scheme became effective on January 31, 2020. It's designed to cover all workers aged 18 to 65 years in the tourism sector, whether permanent, contract, or self-employed. According to the minister, the scheme is expected to generate some $5 billion by the end of the year. Mr. Bartlett adds that the record earnings in the tourism industry up to 2024 have significantly driven the country's development.
By 2024, 4.5 million visitors and $4.3 billion in earning, exceeding the pre-pandemic level, and tourism was able to drive 10 consecutive quarters of national economic growth. Madam Speaker, this marks significant progress towards the nation's ambitious 5x5x5 growth targets, securing 5 million visitors, as we say, and earn $5 billion in the year hopefully ending 2025.
Edmund Bartlett, the Minister of Tourism.
Meanwhile, Minister Bartlett says the Holness administration has nearly doubled the retention rate of the tourism dollar.
Madam Speaker, another critical area of success for us has been the retention rate in tourism. When I became minister first in 2007, the retention rate was then 20 cents in the dollar. When I came back as minister in the second iteration, it had gone up to 25 cents. And since the Andrew Holness administration has taken over the tourism activities, we have moved the retention rate from 25 cents in the dollar to 40.8 cents in the dollar.
Minister Bartlett also credited the JLP government for nearly doubling the total generated by the Tourism Enhancement Fund.
This marks the 20th anniversary of the TEF, 2 decades of meaningful investment in Jamaica's tourism development. Over that time, TES have nearly doubled its value in terms of the generated funds for the people of Jamaica. Madam Speaker, in 2015, the TEF had brought in 5 billion Jamaican dollars. In 2024, the TEF brought $10 billion to the Consolidated Fund of Jamaica, doubling in the matter of 8 years. This fund has provided a pivotal role in driving strategic projects and programs that improve the retention of tourism earnings and support national development.
Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism.
Head of the JCF's Area 3 Assistant Commissioner Calvin Allen says the continued reduction in major crimes will boost employment and investment opportunities in southern Jamaica. Area 3 consists of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and Clarendon. All 3 parishes have recorded a decline in murders since the start of the year. Speaking at the Mandeville Police Civic Committee Top Cop Awards function on Monday, ACP Allen says the area has seen a 56% reduction in homicides.
Manchester right now is boasting a 55% reduction in murders. And as the ACP for Area 3, Area 3 is boasting a 56% reduction in murders. So when we look at and analyze the role of the JCF towards not just law and order, not just safety, but what are the positive correlations of that, then we have no other choice but to continue to pledge and to uphold the oath of office given to us.
According to the JCF's crime data, St. Elizabeth recorded a 66% drop in murders, while Clarendon boasts a 50% decline. ACP Allen noted that the decrease in homicides will result in better investments in the parishes.
Once we have a safer society, as you are seeing now, it naturally makes for a more attractive country. And what that breeds is investment, both locally and abroad. And where there is greater investment, there is greater opportunity for employment. And where there is greater opportunity for employment, you have less idle hands.
ACP Calvin Allen, head of the Police Area 3. You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision, including diabetes, hypertension, and some cancers. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today. The time by IQ Optical is...
It's 15 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
We have, as a people, been fed a steady diet of information, oftentimes untrue, that nothing nah go on. This is probably the first government that almost every single day of the week could have a groundbreaking, a handing over, a contract signing, a commissioning, because enough things are going on in Jamaica under the Andrew Holness-led government. Enough things. So when they come to you with the negativity about nothing nah go on, you may not see what is happening. So when you see groundbreaking, we have been working 2 years, 3 years before bringing it through a process, and we have all kinds of projects, not in a pipeline. Our projects are on a track, so we have a train line of projects to come.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Continuing the news, JLP Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie is confident that the governing party will secure victory in the corporate area during the next general election. He made the claim on Nationwide's Cliff Hughes Online on Tuesday.
We have always been ready in terms of the organization in the corporate area. We have been given a job of work to do since February, and we have been doing it. We have seen the results of those work. All of our constituencies are fully organized with their respective representatives, and we are out there doing the work that needs to be done. A lot of work needs to be done, and the various constituencies out there are working. And I have no doubt in my mind, based on what I know, sitting in the position that I I have no doubt of what the outcome is going to be when it relates to our position in the corporate area.
Desmond McKenzie, JLP Deputy Leader.
People's National Party caretaker for Southwest St. Anne, Danishka Williams, is raising fresh concerns about political intimidation after she says several of her campaign billboards were deliberately removed in the constituency.
This time, several of them were removed from the Clarksonville community, one heading into Cave Valley just before you get to the police station, and another one heading into the Calderwood division right after passing the bridge. This is now the third time I've had to publicly raise concerns about the destruction of my campaign materials. It sends a troubling signal to constituents, to supporters, and to voters, not just in this constituency, but voters right across the country. This pattern of behavior reflects a growing level of political intimidation that must be confronted and condemned by all well-thinking Jamaicans. These are not isolated incidents. There have been other forms of intimidation across the constituency that I know have formally reported to the police.
Danishka Williams, PMP caretaker for Southwest St. Anne.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. The Bahamas government is terminating existing contracts with Cuban healthcare professionals after discussions with the U.S. government. Health Minister Michael Darville told the Parliament on Monday that his ministry would enter into direct employment contracts with Cuban healthcare professionals on the island.
Into a direct contractual agreement with Cuban healthcare professionals currently in the Bahamas. Those who agree to these terms will sign the new employment agreement by my ministry and remain in country for deployment across the Family Island. Further recruitment exercises of Cuban teachers and healthcare workers are currently on hold pending the outcome of the ongoing discussions between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our relevant counterparts in the United States.
Minister Darville says those who are not interested in this new arrangement will be given time to wrap up their affairs and return to Cuba. Currently, there are only 35 Cuban healthcare professionals in the Bahamas, most of them engineers, lab technicians, and X-ray technicians. The Cuban Overseas Medical Missions program in the region has been under increased scrutiny. This after the Trump administration accused officials involved in Cuba's labor export program of being involved in human trafficking exploitation. Cuba and many Caribbean leaders have denied the accusations. But U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says visa restrictions will apply to government officials believed to be involved in the export program.
U.S. President Donald Trump says he knows where Iran's supreme leader is hiding during the Israel-Iran conflict, but doesn't want him killed for now. He made the claim in a post on social media on Tuesday, in which he also called for Iran's unconditional surrender. Trump wrote that he does not want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers, but that the patience of America was wearing thin. The Israel-Iran conflict is now in its fifth day, and both sides continue to fire at each other. Iran has warned people in Tel Aviv to evacuate, while in Tehran there are reports of more explosions. Many Iranians are trying to flee Tehran, but others warn they have nowhere to go. The U.S. says it is not involved with Israel's airstrikes.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, the Auditor General clarifies that her office was not questioning the effectiveness of the government's social benefit programs.
This report is speaking to the administration of social benefits. We did not assess the efficacy of the various programs.
And the Housing Ministry says it's not to be blamed for the low performance of the new social housing program.
Over 10,000 tourism workers have signed up for the government's pension scheme. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Roby-Ann Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
News at 5 was brought to you by the Crispy Barbecue Zinger from KFC. Back for a limited time with the flavor that makes everything crunch. KFC, it's finger licking good.
KFC is back with the Crispy Barbecue Zinger. So delicious, this one is a winner. Spicy with bacon, onions, cheddar, the smoky barbecue sauce.
The Crispy Barbecue Zinger from KFC is back. A delicious spicy zinger with bacon, cheddar cheese, crispy onions, and smoky barbecue sauce. Available for a limited time. The craving that makes everything crunch. KFC's Crispy Barbecue Zinger. It's finger licking good.
The Crispy Barbecue Zinger from KFC with the smoky barbecue sauce.
Get on the rum with Appleton Estate this month. Dive into the history, craftsmanship, and experience a taste of Jamaican excellence. Indulge in your favorite Appleton Estate cocktails and food pairings available at participating restaurants. Or receive a complimentary Appleton 8-year-old Reserve 200 ml when you purchase a bottle of Appleton Estate's Signature Blend 750 ml while stocks last at participating outlets. Appleton Estate. Land on the extraordinary. Follow us at Appleton Estate JA to get on the rum. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Good afternoon with your sports report. I'm Alvix Raby. We ball things off with some cricket as South Africa women beat the West Indies by 166 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method in the third and final ODI at the Three Doubles Oval in Barbados on Tuesday. With the win, South Africa claimed the three-match series 2-1. set a second revised target of 288 from 39 overs to win. The Windies made a 121 for 9. Former captain Stefani Taylor was unable to take to the field. Ali Allen made 32 and Jazara Glaxton 43. Mazabata Class took 4 for 25. Earlier, the tourists made 278 for 6. Tasman Bridge made 101 off 91 balls, which included 8 fours and 4 sixes, while Captain Laura Wolfhard made 75. Afi Fletcher took 3 for 53 for the Windies. Now, West Indies and Australia are in Barbados for the first test of the 3-match series at the Kensington Oval from June 25 to 29. The series forms part of the 2025-2027 World Test Championship cycle. Australia's last test series in the Caribbean took place in 2015. This upcoming tour will be the first time the teams have played a 3-match series in the West Indies since 2012. The most recent clash between the sides, held in Australia last year, ended in a 1-1 draw. Veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira gives us the latest updates.
The practice sessions have already started very quickly. The West Indies side is based at the Kensington Oval. They're using the nets, and they have arranged for a practice pitch on the ground but away from the square. The Australians have gone to St. Philip at the Windward facility. It was used for World Cup practice. They have got one change. They brought in a fast bowler. Smith is in Barbados, but is not expected to play until maybe he gets to Grenada, until there's a marvelous recovery. Labashine, will he open? Will they pick Cameron Green? Those are the possible changes. We could have maybe a new opening batsman. And no doubt the interest is really starting to pick up.
Joseph Reds Pereira. Now to track and field, as sports analyst Leighton Levy says the absence of several of Jamaica's star athletes will not affect the quality of the J3A's Puma National Junior and Senior Championships. Omar McLeod, Elaine Thompson-Hira, Roger Stoner and Jaden Hibbert are some of the big-name athletes missing from the entry list for the National Junior and Senior Championships set for the National Stadium from June 26 to 29. Levy says this championships represents the beginning of the real emergence of new talents. He says the 100 meters for both men and women will be worth the price of admission.
When you look at what's likely to happen with the matchups with Kishane Thompson, Oblique Seville, Akeem Blake, and Brian Lavelle, who has made a big step forward this year. Hopefully Julian Ford can come up. But even with those four alone, it's going to be really competitive. I think along the women's side, I think things are probably more open before than we've ever seen. No Elaine Thompson era yet, but we haven't seen her for the past couple of years. So that's not much of a surprise. But when you look at the fact that Sharika Jack will be competing in 100, along with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, the Clayton twins, Crystal Slowly, Brenna Williams, who just last week ran 11.03 and a 22.6, suggesting that she's in great shape. I think we're going to see very competitive women's 100 in to get those places, those top 3 places for Tokyo.
Levy says the women's 400 meters is worth going miles to see.
Just this past weekend, we saw Eugenia Oakley ran 49.65, which makes her the fastest Jamaican in the world this year. But then we have Stacey Ann Williams and, of course, Nikisha Price. People like Cheyenne Salmon, I think, is going to make it a really competitive event, not just for the individual places, but for the relay spots as well. The 100-meter hurdles for women, I think, has been watered down a little bit with Janique Brown not showing up this year and, of course, Brittany Anderson being pregnant. I think it's going to come down to a battle between Megan Tapper and Akira Nugent. Danielle Williams is running, but she doesn't need to run as defending champion, so she has that opportunity. Maybe she's just using the race as a tuner for the competition.
Leighton Levy, Nationwide 90 FM will have live coverage of the championships. 2019 World Championship gold medalists Tajay Gale and Lamar Distin were among the medalists at the World Athletics Continental Tour Gold Meet in Findon on Tuesday. Gale posted 7.97 meters for third in the men's long jump. Meanwhile, 2022 Commonwealth Games gold medalist Distin finished second with a jump of 1.91 meters in the women's high jump. Olympic champion Roger Stoner was fourth in the men's discus with 66.84 meters. And finally in football, Jamaica's senior men's football team suffered their first ever Gold Cup defeat against Guatemala, going down 1-0 at the Dignity Health Sports Park in California on Monday night. Guatemala nearly took the lead in the 17th minute when Darwin Lum fought off a sea of defenders to help set up a Oscar Santis volley that was ruled offside. The duo was rewarded in the 32nd minute when Santis scored the game's lone goal off a brilliant backheel assist from Lum. Coach of the Reggae Boys, Steve McLaren, says they were not surprised by the Guatemalans.
We knew they'd come at us. We knew they'd be aggressive. I thought the atmosphere was great. It was obviously against us, but that was a test for our team. And I think they credit, because with the crowd behind them, I think they fought like lions. You know, they really had a big desire to win that game, to win the duels, to be aggressive, to really be in our face. And we got through the first 30 minutes, but we switched off just for a moment, didn't deal with quite a simple ball and went a goal down, and it's always going to be difficult then. And with something to hold on to, that's what they did.
Steve McLaren, I'm Alex Swaby, and that's your sports.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airport Authority of Jamaica is
31 degrees Celsius in City Kingston and 29 in Montego Bay.
Tired of waiting for your ride? Want safety and peace of mind on every journey? Amber On Time is here! With verified drivers, real-time vehicle tracking, and panic button with armed security response, your safety is our priority. Reliable service, easy booking, premium experience, it's all just a tap away. Download Amber On Time today!
KFC is back with the crispy barbecue zinger. So delicious, this one is a winner. Spicy with bacon, onions, cheddar, and the smoky barbecue sauce.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC is back. A delicious spicy zinger with bacon, cheddar cheese, crispy onions, and smoky barbecue sauce. Available for a limited time. The craving that makes everything crunch. KFC's crispy barbecue zinger. It's finger-licking good.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC with the smoky barbecue sauce.
And now, for a special message on the JCF Transformations Expo 2.0 by Deputy Commissioner Karina Powell-Hood.
We've been planning for months, and now we're ready to share more of the essence of who we are. At the JCF Transformations People, Quality and Technology Expo 2.0, coming June 19 to 22nd at the National Arena in Kingston and at the Montego Bay Community College. Come, see, experience what you've been hearing about your transforming police force.
The race to 32. Nationwide 90 FM's coverage of the 2025 general elections. Coming soon.
How certain are you that you're taking proper care of your pets? How often do you take them to the vet? Just as we need annual checkups with our doctors, most pets need regular checkups too. Owning and caring for a family pet doesn't have to be a difficult or burdensome experience. Nationwide 90 FM has an exciting feature called Pets World that will help you take better care of your pets. Join Nationwide 90 FM every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning as we take you into the do's and don'ts of caring for your pets. That's Pets World every Wednesday at 6:50 a.m. during the program This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the MSME Business Roadshow in Westmoreland, Wednesday, June 18 at Manning School. Take your business to another level and get ready to start, innovate, export, and grow. Join Jamaica's business ministry and gain access to government incentives, financing opportunities, and vital MSME support to fuel your growth. You'll even have the chance to win up to $400,000 in business cash grants. chance. So bring your ideas, your ambition, and your drive. So tune in to CliffViews Online, June 18 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the MSME Business Roadshow in Westmoreland. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce and the Inter-American Development Bank. Register now at roadshow.miic.gov.jm.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With this thing of Honey Bee.
And Karim Boyatings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. What you said.
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brain busters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to EZONE blinddates@gmail.com. That's EZone blinddates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions. These are my confessions.
Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Public opinion. Stop this foolish about this GLP and PMP business. We are a Jamaican.
Different people. It's not a matter of a GLP or a PMP. I think it's more like where it is that you think you're comfortable, what support you can afford to make the country better.
Different views.
Most entertainers, they're not amenable to management, so the only thing that can ultimately structure them is the court and the prison.
Public opinion. The voice of the people at 6:25 p.m. weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Tune into Nationwide at 6:25 p.m. for Public Opinion, where the people's views matter.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Cover Story is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. It's a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday the 17th of June 2025. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
How you do?
Doing quite well.
Good. Now listeners, the Atlantic hurricane season started on June 1 and will go through to November 30. This is a period when tropical or subtropical cyclones are most likely to develop in the North Atlantic. Forecasts for the 2025 season indicate above normal activity with approximately 19 named storms expected.
Of these 9, of these 19, 9 are projected to become hurricanes, and 4 could strengthen into major hurricanes. That's category 3, 4, or 5 on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. And in July last year, Hurricane Beryl struck Jamaica as a category 3 storm, causing widespread disruptions to water, electricity, internet, and telephone services. How are utilities and telecommunications companies preparing for this year's hurricane season? We're going to ask that question now of Senior Manager of Communications at Flow Jamaica, Daniel Savory, Head of Operations at Digicel Jamaica, Anthony Barrows, and Director of Corporate Communications Jamaica at the Jamaica Public Service Company, Winsome Callum. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ms. Callum, let me start with you. Coming out of yesterday's squall, can you give us an update in terms of power restoration?
Well, we have completed restoration to almost all of our customers. I think at last check we had just about 300 customers, and I believe we will have them all restored within the next couple of hours. We were able to get everyone back on up to last night, but our teams weren't able to get into some of the communities, and so we restarted this morning, and now almost everyone affected by the squall has a power back.
And to be fair, Ms. Callum, you can imagine that some Jamaicans would be given pause because this was not a major storm. This was just a squall. Heavy winds, so yes, but still just a squall. And yet we had so many without power for a brief period of time. How is JPS now preparing for the hurricane season in terms of making the system more resilient?
Well, preparation for the hurricane season started from last year. It's an ongoing activity. Yesterday, we had a squall, an unexpected adverse weather event, as we call it, totally unexpected, and it did test us, and I know there are persons who said, but it was just wind. The fact is, we experienced tropical storm wind. Yesterday, we had wind speeds of, on average, I understand, of about 52 miles per hour, and that is a tropical storm wind speed. It's the worst one that the country has ever experienced. What happened is that the wind was so fierce that it impacted our network in such a way that the built-in protection mechanism activated and operated as it ought to by shutting down the affected sections of the network to protect the network. We also had interference from missiles flying through the air. We had billboards, zinc from roofs and fences getting onto the lines and damaging the lines. So the damage was not as extensive as, we would have had with a storm or a hurricane, but it was significant enough that we had power outages in several parishes.
So Jamaicans should not be worried that JPS is not prepared?
Absolutely not. We believe, and just by looking at how the grid held up yesterday, we think that had we experienced this kind of squall event last year, we would have been in a worse position. What has happened since last year is that we have been intentionally entering into what we call structural integrity repair and rebuilding of the network. So it's more robust now and much more resilient. So the fact that the damage is as minimal as it was this time around is an indication that we are better prepared for the 2025 hurricane season than we were last year. So no cause for worry. Yes, we will have power outages. What is important is the company's ability to respond. And this time, I believe we responded quickly. Yes, persons did not get back power. Some persons didn't get back power as quickly as they wanted to.
Yes.
But the fact is we were able to get most people back online before nightfall yesterday.
Yes. Anthony Barrows at Digicel, you also had some issues in some parishes in terms of connectivity. How is the network now?
Well, afternoon again, and afternoon to
Good afternoon.
compadres from the utilities. what I put on the table is that, yes, we were impacted. Yes, we would have had cell sites that are energy dependent, public power supply dependent, that would have been impacted. And but when we looked at it, we only lost 5 sites that went off air. Mm-hmm. Yes, we would have had 45 or so sites that would have either gone on battery and sustained the power outage period, or the generator would have ran in the absence of the public power supply. 5 sites have gone off air and would have been remedied over the period, either through JPSCO's restoration or alternative power source, like they might have gone on location to remedy issues that might have occurred during the squall.
And I suppose we're up on a break. I don't want to put such a lengthy question to both you and Ms. Savory. So we'll take the break, and then I come back and I want to ask you, how would both Digicel and Flow respond in case of a major hurricane in terms of keeping communications going?
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is...
It's 5:44.
Burn Shack fried chicken always ready. Burn Shack, original crispy. Burn Shack, Cajun spicy. Burn Shack, a barbecue. Burn Shack, we are the Burn Shack.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Ochivios is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and it's 29 out west in Montego Bay.
Spring into style with Unique Living. Upgrade your home with our extensive range of products. Get sleek shower panels, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, plus kitchen sinks, closet solutions, ceiling fans, and more. Available in various finishes and sizes. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call 876-755-3661 or visit our website at www.uniquelivingja.com. Don't wait to spring into style with Unique Living.
Jamaica! It's time for Make a Move with Jamaica Moves. The Corporate Wellness Challenge 8x8 edition is here. 8 challenges, 8 months, 1 healthier workforce. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This national movement pushes companies to compete, connect, transform your workplace 1 challenge at a time. Launch date Thursday, June 19, 2025. Register your company online at moh.gov.jm and lock in your spot. The Jamaica Moves Corporate Wellness Challenge 8x8 edition, creating healthier workplaces for a healthier Jamaica.
KFC is back with the crispy barbecue zinger. So delicious, this one is a winner. Spicy with bacon, onions, cheddar, the smoky barbecue sauce.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC is back. A delicious spicy zinger with bacon, cheddar cheese, crispy onions, and smoky barbecue sauce. Available for a limited time. The craving that makes everything crunch. KFC's crispy barbecue zinger. It's finger licking good.
The crispy barbecue zinger from KFC with the smoky barbecue sauce.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. We're talking hurricane preparedness with the country's major utilities and telecommunications companies. We have the Senior Manager of Communications at Flow Jamaica, Daniel Savory, Head of Operations at Digicel Jamaica, Anthony Barrows, and Director of Corporate Communications for the Jamaica Public Service Company, Winsome Callum. So before we went to the break, Anthony Barrows, I want to ask you, communications during and after a hurricane will be key, and while we understand one of the major utilities that will most likely be impacted will be electricity, so the ability to function without electricity in terms of communicating between Jamaicans is important. Is Digicel up to the task? And then I would put that question to you as after Daniel Savory.
Well, yes, I would say that easily that we are up to the task. Clearly, there are going to be dependencies. We will depend on JPSCO for power, and we will rely on other businesses, other entities in the space for different services. But what we do have a robust network, and we do have robust backup and redundant facilities to help us sustain ourselves throughout a hit. Here's what will happen. Undoubtedly, due to the nature of the infrastructure, which is above ground, in JPS in particular, power will be affected. What have we done? We have rolled out 630 generators. We have renewed and refreshed a lot of our fleet of generators post-Beryl to address some of the shortcomings that we recognize due to the surprising impact of Beryl on the national infrastructure. We've also built out additional redundancies via fiber, above ground and underground. And we, how should I put it, we have smartly kept microwave as a backup communication, so that in the instance of failure of fiber, we can always have transfer that capacity to microwave for that, so we can keep. And it's easier to restore post a hurricane. Instead of hard fiber, we would have relied on microwave for connectivity and transmission back central and to keep the network up. It is important to us because while we have microwave antennas blown out of alignment, our ability to react and realign is far quicker than our ability to rerun above ground fiber, overhead fiber. Hopefully our underground facilities are not affected too much, but we have built redundant paths either way in respect of fiber, as in having two different pathways, underground and above ground, and of course we still rely on our microwave for backup. The challenge with microwave is that it won't carry the capacity, it won't carry the extensive capacity that fiber offers, but we will be able to maintain some amount of restricted data, and clearly we will maintain voice post an emergency, and people can and will be able to communicate.
Understood. And how are things on your end over at Flow, Daniel Savory?
Okay, so of course, we like to say at Flow that, hurricanes are one of the few natural disasters that we can fully prepare for. And so, at this point, we are at a heightened state of readiness for the hurricane season. We have a business continuity management program, as Vincent mentioned, that runs full year. But as early as February this year, we started to intensify those preparations. One of the things I wanted to point out is that while Hurricane Beryl brought its challenges, it actually has put us in the best position we have been to face a storm of that kind of magnitude. And yesterday we saw a little bit of it where there would have been power issues. One of the big investments that we made was in what we call power resilience. So we've had over 150 new generators installed at those mobile sites. We've also looked at things like solar solutions. And what that has done is allowed us to have that resiliency in the event that there's a dip in the normal power supply. And so we saw a little bit of that kicking in yesterday to ensure that our customers remain connected, right? Another big development that we've had since last year is that we've announced 172 kilometers of those vital fiber optic cables being shifted underground. Work continues on that, and we hope that by the end of this year, we would have completed that project. Yet, as we speak, the most critical sections of the island, particularly those that were impacted between the areas of Clarendon going back to St. James, are currently being placed underground. And that we also believe, will put us in a much, much better position in the event that we're faced with adverse weather.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel, I know that this matter of vandalism has also sometimes tend to affect your readiness for major weather events like this. How are you in terms of that, in terms of recovering from those acts of vandalism?
So, that continues to be one of the things that we have to speak out about. Under the cover of weather, dark, vandals continue to plague our network. As recently as last weekend, we had an incident in the area of Kingston. And so, our security team, we have looked at a number of measures to ensure that, some of those same generators that would have gone missing during Hurricane Beryl that have been replaced, looking at them, obviously we wouldn't be able to share on public radio, right. But, we put a number of measures in place just to try to secure the network. And, some of the work in terms of moving things underground will also offer additional protection for some of those assets. But, we really, again, every opportunity we get, appeal to the public, please help us to, look beyond the lookout, because it really wreaks havoc on the network when, we put in something that should work and then for whatever reason it is removed, right?
Yeah. Do you have any lines? So if somebody probably observes an act of vandalism, do you have any lines that they can call, or do they just go direct? You recommend they go directly to the police in terms of reporting?
So we do, but the police is obviously the first stop, right? And my team is going to kill me. That number for the helpline is slipping me at the moment, but I will get it back to you before the end of the program.
Okay.
We do have a line that persons can call into our security operations center, and of course the police are always there to support us.
Yeah. Anthony, what about you at Digicel?
In what respect?
In terms of the vandals and how that affects your readiness for the season?
Well, I heard Ms. Severs, she spoke about under the cover of weather. I will tell you that under the cover of sun. It means that at any point of the day, they'll go and make attempts at stripping vital assets from our cell sites. Flow, Digicel, JPS go too. But we have put in a lot of plans, but we always have to keep building a better mousetrap, and that is just a reality. And during heightened activity under hurricane, etc., while our attention is focused on restoration, there are some who are focused on removing things from our cell site. It is a difficult thing to do, and to maintain and manage under those circumstances. But we do our best in association with our own colleagues at Cable we share information across the networks in respect of issues of vandalism. And of course, we collaborate significantly with the police. And I would like to take this particular opportunity to say to CTOC, thank you, because they have been of significant help to us. And we have had an excellent we have an excellent relationship that we leverage from time to time for the response. And of course, we have other security layers that we can't go on air and speak about.
Yeah.
But the impact, though, is significant, and our methods for combating are also significantly extensive. But we have a duty to maintain service for customers of Jamaica, and we have no choice but to invest in the security while investing in our network.
Winsome, Callum, I hear Digicel and Flow both looking to go underground in terms of safeguarding their infrastructure, in terms of resilience. I know JPS has moved away from that, but is it something that JPS is willing to explore, considering the risk and the growing risk of hurricanes and other storms, moving that critical infrastructure underground?
It is something that we have looked at from time to time. We go back to the feasibility of putting the network or sections of the network underground. But the one thing that keeps us from doing that is the cost. It can be as much as 10 times more expensive to put the network underground. And that is a deterrent for us as well as for our paying customers. So what has happened is that we have placed the sections underground. There are challenges with the underground placement that include difficulty in maintenance, additional costs to maintain. So it all comes back to the cost and the capacity of our paying customers to take on this additional cost. What we can say, though, is that we are working with best-in-class benchmarking with other utilities right across the globe to ensure that we are as ready as we can to respond in the event of a hurricane. I think that we are the most prepared, not quite ready, but we are as prepared as I have ever seen the organization. And this includes addressing one of the challenges we had last year, which was an inadequate number of boots on the ground. So you may have seen a recent announcement that we have signed contracts with 2 North American firms, and we have hundreds of linemen, line workers on standby. And the good thing about a hurricane or storm is that you can take action ahead of. So once we have the threat of a hurricane or the threat of a storm, we can get the boots on the ground, we can pre-stage material. Just be very, very proactive in staging resources so that we can respond quickly. That is one of the things that we've done this year that has never been done before. So we're in a better position to respond immediately after a hurricane.
Winsome Callum, I just got a note from a listener who is asking if they have overgrown vegetation that may be affecting power lines. Who should they reach out to? What contact number should they reach out to?
This is one of the challenges we have, yes, where the trees and vegetation on private property is actually the responsibility of the property owner. But we recognize that in some cases it's already overgrown and we don't want you to attempt to cut it when it's in the land because that's dangerous. So you can call us at 888-225-5577 or 888-CALL-JPS. But remember the number, 225-5577, and you can report it. But the most effective way of making this report is using the JPS app. So you can download the My JPS mobile app from the App Store and log that report.
All right. And Daniel Savory, finally, did you get that contact number if persons want to report acts of vandalism?
Yes,
please go ahead.
Indeed, it's quite simple. 922-HELP, HELP. Dial that on your keypad, and that takes you straight to our Security Operations Center. I just want to remind that is for emergencies only, such as, obviously service issues, but also if persons observe tampering with the network. You might see somebody, you don't see any flow vans around, but you see them pulling up cables, trying to cut something. That's time to call 922-HELP, and we'll be sure to have someone out to investigate.
Daniel Savory, Anthony Barrows, Winsome Callum, thank you all for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Cover Story was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6 o'clock.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis has clarified that her office was not questioning the effectiveness of the government's social benefit programs. The Prime Minister's signature housing program, the new social housing program, had come under scrutiny after it was revealed that the Auditor General flagged instances of overlap and duplication in the delivery of the program. Dr. Holness dismissed the findings as baseless and unfair. But in Tuesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee, Mrs. Monroe Ellis clarified the findings.
This report is speaking to the administration of social benefits. We did not assess the efficacy of the various programs, and I want that to be understood. We're speaking about the administration. It's a fact that there is duplication. It's a fact that there is overlapping. And it is a fact that there is a substantial cost for managing the delivery of the social benefit.
She says while the effectiveness of the programs were not under scrutiny, the duplications that were flagged served to undermine the delivery of benefits to those in need.
Because I don't want it to be misunderstood, the intent, well, not the intent of the audit, but what we are concluding. We're not speaking about overlapping or duplication of benefits paid to beneficiaries. The focus is on the programs. And in fact, we believe that because the program is so fragmented, it serves as a disadvantage to the beneficiaries because they have to be moving from different entities to actually access the benefits and to be aware of the benefits that that's available to them.
Mrs. Monroe Ellis is also urging greater use of technology in administering the benefit program. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the Holness administration has nearly doubled the retention rate of the tourism dollar. He made the announcement during his contribution to the sectoral debates in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
Madam Speaker, another critical area of success for us has been the retention rate in tourism. When I became minister first in 2007, the retention rate was then 20 cents in the dollar. When I came back as minister in the second iteration, it had gone up to 25 cents. And since the Andrew Holness administration has taken over the tourism activities, we have moved the retention rate from 25 cents in the dollar to 40.8 cents in the dollar.
Minister Bartlett also credited the JLP government for nearly doubling the total generated by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF.
This marks the 20th anniversary of the TEF, 2 decades of meaningful investment in Jamaica's tourism development. Over that time, TEF have nearly doubled its value in terms of the generated funds for the people of Jamaica. Madam Speaker, in 2015, the TEF had brought in 5 billion Jamaican dollars. In 2024, the TEF brought $10 billion to the Consolidated Fund of Jamaica, doubling in the matter of 8 years. This fund has provided a pivotal role in driving strategic projects and programs that improve the retention of tourism earnings and support national development.
Meanwhile, Minister Bartlett says the record earnings in the tourism industry up to 2024 have significantly driven the country's development.
By 2024, 4.5 million visitors and $4.3 billion in earning, exceeding the pre-pandemic level, and tourism was able to drive 10 consecutive quarters of national economic growth. Madam Speaker, this marks significant progress towards the nation's ambitious 5x5x5 growth targets, securing 5 million visitors, as we say, and earn $5 billion in the year, hopefully ending 2025.
Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism. The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, says fewer than 400 customers are still without electricity. This follows power outages on Monday due to heavy winds. The winds were the result of a squall line that swept the country. 50,000 customers were initially affected. The company says it's working to restore power to the remaining customers by the end of the day. It says these customers are scattered across Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and Clarendon. And reggae artist Leroy Gibbons has died. The artist reportedly collapsed in Hanover on Tuesday morning. He was 74. Gibbons was known for tracks such as Lover's Question and Four Season Lover. However, his big break came with his reggae cover of This Magic Moment in 1988.
My love is to the end of time. My love is to the end of time. This magic moment, so different and so new.
That was Leroy Gibbons. Pardon. That was Leroy Gibbons performing This Magic Moment. Gibbons was also the lead singer of the gospel group known as the Gospel Proclaimers. In 2017, Gibbons and his friend were injured following a shooting on Port Henderson Main Road in Portmore. He would return to performing months after the shooting. Gibbons performed at Rebel Salute earlier in January. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gabe Banton. Sports is next.
Are you burning up with this summer heat?
The place hot, man.
Get cool now with a Hisense air conditioner.
I feel good.
With advanced energy-saving inverter technology and whisper quiet operation. Beat this heat with Hisense. Available at Aliabra Brands Limited, 64 Hagley Park Road, or call 876-676-5951 now.
So good. So good. I got to you.
Make a toast to your future. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union is by your side. All educators, the best is what you deserve.
We'll keep your dreams alive.
Competitive loans to help you grow.
We'll take you higher.
Great returns on your savings. A bright future is in the making.
Build the best you with the best credit union. We are committed to serving you.
The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
And now, a special message from our Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake.
In 2023, many of you told us how pleasantly surprised you were with our first Transformations Expo. Be prepared to be amazed at Transformations Expo 2.0, people, quality, and technology, coming from 2 locations at the National Arena in Kingston and simultaneously at the Montego Bay Community College from Thursday, June 19 to Sunday, June 22. Bring your friends. Bring your family. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun, putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alwix Raby. We both things off with some cricket as South Africa women beat the West Indies by 166 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis method in the third and final ODI at the Three Doubles Oval in Barbados on Tuesday. With the win, South Africa claimed the 3-match series 2-1, set a second revised target of 288 from 39 overs to win. The Windies made 121 for 9. Former captain Stefana Taylor was unable to take to the field. Ali Allen made 32 and Jazara Cluxton 43. Masabata Class took 4 for 25. Earlier, the tourist made 278 for 6. Tasmin Bridge made 101 off 91 balls, which included 8 fours and 4 sixes, while captain Laura Woolvard made 75. Afi Fletcher took 3 for 53 for the Windies. West Indies and Australia are in Barbados for the first test of the 3-match series at the Kensington Oval from June 25 to 29. The series forms part of the 2025-2027 World Test Championship cycle. Australia's last test series in the Caribbean took place in 2015. This upcoming tour will be the first time the teams have played a 3-match series in the West Indies since 2012. The most recent clash between the sides held in Australia last year ended in a 1-1 draw. Veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira gives us the latest updates.
The practice sessions have already started very quickly. The West Indies side is based at the Kensington Oval. They're using the nets, and they have arranged for a practice pitch on the ground but away from the square. The Australians have gone to St. Philip at the Windward facility. It was used for World Cup practice. They have got one change. They brought in a fast bowler. Smith is in Barbados, but is not expected to play until maybe he gets to Grenada, until there's a marvelous recovery. Labuschagne, will he open? Will they pick Cameron Green? Those are the possible changes. We could have maybe a new opening batsman. And no doubt the interest is really starting to pick up.
Joseph Reds Pereira. Now to track and field, as sports analyst Leighton Levy says the absence of several of Jamaica's star athletes will not affect the quality of the J3A's Puma National Junior and Senior Championships. Amar McLeod, Elaine Thompson-Hira, Roger Stoner and Jaden Hibbert are some of the big-name athletes missing from the entry list for the National Junior and Senior Championships set for the National Stadium from June 26 to 29. Levy says this championships represents the beginning of the real emergence of new talents. He says the 100 meters for both men and women will be worth the price of admission.
When you look at what's likely to happen with the matchups with Kishane Thompson, Oblique Seville, Akeem Blake, and Brian Lavelle, who has made a big step forward this year. Hopefully Julian Ford can come up. But even with those four alone, it's going to be really competitive. I think along the women's side, I think things are probably more open before than we've ever seen. No Lillian Thompson era yet, but we haven't seen her for the past couple of years. So that's not much of a surprise. But when you look at the fact that Sharika Jack will be competing in 100, along with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, the Clayton twins, Crystal Slowly, Brenna Williams, who just last week ran 11.03 and a 22.6, suggesting that she's in great shape. I think we're going to see very competitive women's 100 in to get those places, those top 3 places for Tokyo.
Levy says the women's 400 meters is worth going miles to see.
Just this past weekend, we saw Justina Oakley ran 49.65, which makes her the fastest Jamaican in the world this year. But then we have Stacey-Ann Williams and, of course, Nikisha Price. People like Cheyenne Salmon, I think, is going to make it a really competitive event, not just for the individual places, but for the relay spots as well. The 100-meter hurdles for women, I think, has been watered down a little bit with Janique Brown not showing up this year and, of course, Brittany Anderson being pregnant. I think it's going to come down to a battle between Megan Tapper and Akira Nugent. Danielle Williams is running, but she doesn't need to run as defending champion, so she has that opportunity. Maybe she's just using the race as a tuner for the competition.
Leighton Levy, Nationwide 90 FM will have live coverage of the championships. 2019 World Championship gold medalist Ajay Gale and Lamar Distin were among the medalists at the World Athletics Continental Tour Gold Meet in Finland on Tuesday. Gale posted 7.97 meters for third in the men's long jump. Meanwhile, 2022 Commonwealth Games gold medalist Distin finished second with a jump of 1.91 meters in the women's high jump. Olympic champion O.J. Stoner was fourth in the men's discus with 66.84 meters. Now to football, as Jamaica's senior men's football team suffered their first ever Gold Cup defeat against Guatemala, going down 1-0 at the Dignity Health Sports Park in California on Monday night. Guatemala nearly took the lead in the 17th minute when Darwin Lam fought off a sea of defenders to help set up an Oscar Santis volley that was ruled offside. The duo was rewarded in the 32nd minute when Santis scored the game's lone goal off a brilliant backheel assist from Lam. Coach of the Reggae Boys, Steve McLaren, says they were not surprised by the Guatemalans.
We knew they'd come at us. We knew they'd be aggressive. I thought the atmosphere was great. It was obviously against us, but that was a test for our team. And I think they credit because with the crowd behind them, I think they fought like lions. You know, they really had a big desire to win that game, to win the duels, to be aggressive, to really be in our face. And we got through the first 30 minutes, but we switched off just for a moment, didn't deal with quite a simple ball and went a goal down, and it's always going to be difficult then. And with something to hold on to, that's what they did.
Steve McLaren. The campaigners have criticized FIFA after it appeared to drop anti-racism messaging at the Club World Cup, with some suggesting it may be connected to the policies of US President Donald Trump. FIFA backed no discrimination armbands at the Qatar 2020 World Cup and last month hailed a new disciplinary code to fight racism more efficiently and decisively. However, so far, such sentiments seem to have been absent during matches at the revamped competition in the US, where the governing body instead promoting a Football Unites the World campaign. FIFA has not commented on a report that promotional material for a no racism campaign was prepared for the Club World Cup, but then not used. Field of Gold surged to a spectacular victory in the St. James Palace Stakes at Ascot today. The 8-11 favourite under Colin Keane for trainer John and Teddy Gosden won by 3.5 lengths.
As they turn into the home straight and run towards the final two, Field of Gold starting to shift through the gears on the outside, and he's getting there very easily. Field of Gold strides into the lead. Henri Matisse down the outside of Officer, then Rashabar, nothing from Ruling Court or Windlord, up towards the line here, running inside the last furlong. It is Field of Gold. He's 5 or 6 lengths clear of Henri Matisse, who's gone into a clear second. Field of Gold and Colin Keane, the gold standard in the St. James's Palace. Field of Gold wins.
Meanwhile, Dockland was a dramatic winner of the opening race as the 14-1 shot beat favourite Rosalind by a nose. The winner, trained by Harry Eustace, gained victory in the Queen's Anne Stake in a photo finish despite jockey Mark Zara losing his whip in the closing stages.
Brazilian one from the right in the yellow, beginning to launch a challenge as they head down to the final furlong now. Switching right over the far side is Notable Speech, Carl Spackler, but here's Brazilian in the yellow now. Delivered from the back of the field. With him is Docklands. It's Brazilian and Docklands with the white sleeves who's getting the better as they race towards the line and beyond the nod between Docklands and Brazilian. A massive bite for Cairo in third place.
Now to basketball, as with their best of three semi-final series in the Women's National Basketball League locked at 1-1, Lady Panthers and Lady Celtics will meet in the deciding match at the Stadium Court on Tuesday evening at 6:15. Meanwhile, in the Men's League, UWI Running Rebels take on Upper Room Eagles in Game 1 of their best of three semi-final series, while champions Urban Knight face St. George's Slayers. And finally, in tennis players have demanded more action to stop dangerous abuse from the dark side of social media, with calls for the introduction of identity verification after Britain's Katie Boulter laid bare the extent of the issue. Boulter said that receiving abusive content and death threats has become the norm for athletes and that it becomes more apparent every single time you go on your phone. She shared messages including one that read, "Hope you get cancer," and another that references damaging her grandmother's grave if she's not dead by tomorrow. After saying she fears about the impact this kind of abuse can have on younger players, Boulter has received support and backing from fellow players.
I looked on my phone and literally there were hundreds of messages of people reacting to it, and every single person was just telling me to disregard it and, you know, how much they love me and how much they appreciate me bringing this subject into light, and they weren't aware of it. And I think that's I just don't think people are aware of it. I don't think people realize how much of that actually happens to players. I think you kind of see what you want to see. You don't see the behind the scenes, how hard we work, what we go through on a daily basis, and the things that people do say to you.
Katie Boulter, I'm Alric Swiby, and that's your sport.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Plug into the sun with Peak Energy Solutions. We are your affordable provider for everything solar. Grid tie or off-grid solar P systems, solar air conditioners, panels, lithium batteries, solar supplies, and installation. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hills, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
You have to win, then just bet. Bet on the game, no stress, no sweat. And win big in the Wanna Bet Just Bet promotion. Spend $1,500 or more on one Just Bet ticket and complete the entry form at promotions.supremegames.com for your chance to win. Third place gets Beats by Dre. Second place gets an iPhone 15 and AirPods Pro. And first place gets a 65-inch TV and a soundbar. Promotion runs May 16 to July 20, 2025. Grand draw July 25, 2025. Authorized under Section 58. Of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Hello, good evening, and welcome
to Public Opinion here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Special good evening to our friends over on YouTube. We invite you to also weigh in live in the comment section on today's Public Opinion. So, the Met Service says the high winds due to Monday's squall line lasted up to 20 minutes. Now, a squall line is a sudden increase in winds lasting for several minutes. It's often associated with thunderstorms. The weather condition began affecting the island about 12:15 p.m. The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, said approximately 50,000 of its customers had been affected in several communities across Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, and Manchester. The company says power has since been restored to all its customers, and operations at Freeport, that's Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited, came to a halt after heavy winds from that same squall toppled several containers at the wharf. The hazardous conditions prompted a temporary suspension of outdoor activities at the location, and the heavy winds also lifted a section of the roof at the Norman Gardens Clinic in Kingston. So in Public Opinion this evening, we're asking, were you affected by yesterday's squall? Now, before we get into the answers, I may not have been affected by it, but I was sitting at my table, I was sitting at my work desk when it was going on. And you know, sometimes the breeze will blow, but that breeze yesterday was different. It was a different piece of breeze, but I thought the flowers on this little bush we have outside at the front gate, I thought they were all gonna blow away. It was crazy. And I thought it was just something limited to just where we were. I didn't think this was some multi-parish thing until my mom DM'd me on WhatsApp. She was like, we're having crazy winds over here, my ear. I'm like, what? You're having this in Manchester as well. And that's when I realized that these were no ordinary winds. So let's take a look. Let's go over to Instagram first. Claude Halley says yes. It's Lady K. Hutchinson says no. Wayne Tipsy Campbell says yes, my garbage bin blew away. And Robert Gregory Loires says no. So let's take a look over on another platform and see if folks over there were affected by the squall. Affected is a strong word. Or is it? Were you? I heard a couple people got some stuff blown away. But hold on a minute. Before we even go on, let me see if the YouTubers have anything to say. Okay, so there we go. We already have some YouTubers. Do we just stick with YouTube today? Sophia Nemard says, yes, it was crazy here in St. Elizabeth. Listen, man, I'm just glad I didn't have any clothes on the line. Because I feel like if I had clothes on the line, maybe the clothespins would have been enough. I don't know how strong the winds were because I wasn't outside when it was happening, but I feel like maybe some of my clothes would have blown off. That wouldn't have been good at all. David Nabar says, you need to change your garbage can. Title. Tie. What do you mean? Tie? Probably means tie. Tie down your garbage can. Yeah. I know mine is tied down, so we should be fine. Shay says the winds in Mobay wasn't bad. Yeah, so it's interesting y'all bring that up because if you lived in certain parts of the country, you probably didn't get any squall winds. So what did I read earlier? Kingston was one, St. Andrew was one, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester. So more of them southern parishes really felt the squall. So I guess if you were in St. Anne, St. Mary, you know, Portland, or anywhere out west, you probably didn't feel the squall, man, but we absolutely got the squall. I even put on my Instagram story that I didn't know we had tornadoes in Jamaica as a joke, and everyone was DMing me from far and saying, whoa, I thought we were the only ones that had tornadoes, man. Here, I didn't know Jamaica had tornadoes. So I had to put a disclaimer saying, actually, I was just having a laugh. We don't actually have tornadoes here, but yeah, it was pretty bad, man. See, there goes Petrona confirming my theory. We didn't have any in Westmoreland, says Petrona, which makes sense. It was very hard here in Manchester. It blew up my yam field, says Patrick Williams. That's terrible, Patrick. Hopefully you didn't lose any of that fresh produce. Yeah. Arlene Rose said, what name squall? No rain. Never know it was breeze name squall. Well, you learn something new every day. That's a squall for you, Arlene Rowe. As a matter of fact, let me just confirm it for you. Yeah, a squall. Definition: a sudden violent gust of wind or localized storm. So yeah, it can just be wind, man. It doesn't have to be rain. What's this? Sandra Murray says, I was blown from Kingston to Westmoreland and back. It even passed over NNN. It did pass over NNN, Sandra. We felt it. Well, feel is a strong word. We saw it. We didn't feel anything through the wall, but I could see it. Angie Favorable 119 says, I wasn't affected, was actually at work around my desk and viewing the trees tossing left and right, back and front. Wasn't scared at all. Maureen Mackenzie says, Portmore had heavy breeze. All right. Joan Newville says, most of my East Indian mangoes blew off the tree. Well, I guess that's not too bad, Joan. That means you can just, you don't have to like climb them up. You don't have to use the stick to pick them down. You just take them off the ground. Unless the fall damaged them and they're like dirty or something, but you should be fine. Hi, Master Jam. Thanks for the wave. Or the, is that a clap emoji or a wave? I think it's a clap. Hi, Master Jam. How are you? Were you affected by the squall? Terrible here in Clarendon, says Angela Ellis. So breeze blow down for your tree them, it appears. Jamaica phenomenon, says Sharon Brown. Okay. Mercedes Morgan says, nope, not in St. Mary. I guess it depends. Well, yeah, that's what I expected. St. Mary's a northern parish, so I wouldn't have expected St. Mary to be one of the parishes affected. But it was crazy, man. Crazy squall. I shouldn't say I'd never seen. I think the last time I've seen breeze like that was Beryl. Literally Beryl last year. That's almost been a year from now. Crazy. It feels like just yesterday. Nothing in East Central St. James, says East Central. Fair enough. Well, again, yeah, Northern Parish, Western Parish. If you're in the Northwest, you definitely didn't experience the squall. Sandra Murray says, that breeze blew off many mangoes off the trees. So that means that you and Joan Newville are in the same boat, Sandra. You both lost your precious mangoes. Hopefully you picked them up and you were still able to eat them. But yeah, man, it's crazy stuff. I'm so glad it happened after I got to work, because I can't imagine. Can you imagine walking to work when that's taking place? I had an umbrella with me when I was walking to work this morning, and it wasn't squall level breeze, but it was breeze nonetheless, and it was blowing the umbrella back. I had to like fit it back into place. It was very annoying, and that breeze was nowhere near as bad as what I saw yesterday. So I don't know how people that were walking on the road yesterday managed, because I could barely manage this morning and the breeze wasn't that crazy. So yeah, Angela Ellis is another one that lost mangoes. So we have three people that have lost their precious mangoes thanks to yesterday's squall line. It's not the first time we've had squall wind, says Angie Favorable 119. I guess not, but squall winds imply that a large section of the country has been affected. It's certainly not something new, but it's definitely something rare. It's not something that happens every day. It didn't happen today, right? It's just one of them rarities. But yeah, exactly. There you go, Arlene. You just learned it. Okay, just realized squall can be breeze as well. Yup. There you go, Arlene. You learn something new every day. So yeah, we had a squall yesterday, a sudden sharp increase in wind speed lasting minutes. And it did last minutes. It certainly didn't last that long. It was weird at the start, but eventually it died down. I thought it was going to be an all-day thing, but luckily it was just for, let's say, half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour. Certainly wasn't anything long. Maybe it was different depending on where you were, but I know that up here it wasn't that crazy for that long. It was crazy, but it wasn't crazy for that long. Mikhail says, seeing pictures from the port with containers turned over, saying it was very strong breeze. And that's what took me. That's what caught me off guard, because I was like, I know the breeze was bad, but I didn't think it was bad enough to knock containers over. I certainly didn't think it was that crazy. So when I saw those videos, I was in shock. I didn't think the breeze was enough to blow down containers. Reposing rain sounds plus says, driving on the highway, it feels as if the vehicle is gonna flip. Madness, man. Angie Smith says, I'd never seen that before. Only Beryl I saw so many breeze. My garbage bin blew away in Clarendon. And that's because Clarendon's a southern parish, and the southern parishes were worse affected by the squall. So yeah, man, Beryl, That's true. That's the last time I experienced winds like that. Beryl. And it looked the same way too. The breezes blowing the same way. The strength, everything just seemed Beryl-like yesterday. So yesterday was crazy. But there we go, folks. We experienced a squall. That was neat. Well, it wasn't neat for everybody. It messed up a lot of people's day. But luckily, it probably won't be happening again anytime soon. Unless the hurricane season is as active as is predicted. But that's public opinion for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Mahiri Stewart, and now it's time for the Business Report.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:33. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Mahiri Stewart. The country's point-to-point inflation rate declined slightly at the end of May. According to the data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, the country's point-to-point inflation rate was 5.2% for the period. This is down from the 5.3% rate recorded for the month prior. This was influenced mainly by the point-to-point inflation rates for the division's food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, and restaurant and accommodation services. The rate remains within the Bank of Jamaica's target range of 4 to 6%. Amazon boss Andy Jassy has told staff to embrace artificial intelligence and warned the technology will lead to smaller corporate workforce in the next few years. He shared the prediction in a memo to staff on Tuesday, which urged employees to be curious about AI. The tech giant is the latest firm to set out its plans for using AI amid concerns the technology will lead to rapid job losses across the world. Mr. Jassy says he expects AI to lead efficiency gains that would allow the firm to reduce its corporate workforce. And finally, the currency markets at the close of trading today cost 159 Jamaican dollars and 91 cents to buy $1. It costs 216 Jamaican dollars and 92 cents to buy £1 British pound, and it costs 118 Jamaican dollars and 40 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Good evening.
Enough power tool, big to small. Chaka my figure dig the wall. Our total tools. Beat back a figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Outer Reyes, 34 Slibe Road, Kingston, and Lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
The name you trust to be your friend, to be a partner by your side. For generations we have been the one you trust as your financial guide. Sagicor, building trust for generations, helping hopes and dreams to grow, building our nation. Sagicor's the name you know. Sagicor.
Sagicor, celebrating 55 years.
Building trust for generations.
And now, for a special message on the JCF Transformations Expo 2.0 by Deputy Commissioner Karina Powell-Hood.
We've been planning for months, and now we're ready to share more of the essence of who we are. At the JCF Transformations People, Quality and Technology Expo 2.0, coming June 19 to 22nd at the National Arena in Kingston and at the Montego Bay Community College. Come, see, experience what you've been hearing about your transforming police force.
The Race to 32. Nationwide 90 FM's coverage of the 2025 general elections. Coming soon.
Tune in to CliffViews Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the MSME Business Roadshow in Westmoreland, Wednesday, June 18 at Manning School. Take your business to another level and get ready to start, innovate, export, and grow. Join Jamaica's business ministry and gain access to government incentives, financing opportunities, and vital MSME support to fuel your growth. You'll even have the chance to win up to $400,000 in business cash grants. So bring your ideas, your ambition, and your drive. So tune in to CliffViews Online June 18 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the MSME Business Roadshow in Westmoreland. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce and the Inter-American Development Bank. Register now at roadshow.miic.gov.jm.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton, weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Looking to rent a fully operational production studio? Then Nationwide 90 FM has got you covered. We have flexible options to meet your recording needs any day of the week. Monday to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays available upon request. Bookings must be made in advance. Call us today at 630-1210. Let us help you reach your production desires.
It's Monday, get over your blues. Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The E-Zone is here for you. With the Stinger Honeybee
and Karim Boyatings
from 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
We've got your entertainment news.
Then we want to hear your views. Why you said?
Jump in the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss our brain busters.
Or the crazy giveaways.
Let's talk fashion.
Send us your outfit of the day. Ooh, cutesy. Very demure.
Are you looking for love?
Come on one of our blind dates. Send your request to ezoneblindates@gmail.com. That's ezoneblindates@gmail.com.
And stay tuned for your confessions.
These are my confessions. Share them with us at ezoneconfessions@yahoo.com. I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow! Ow!
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Nationwide 90 FM wants to help you find your home sweet home with all things real estate. A 15-minute program during Nationwide This Morning every Wednesday at 8:35 a.m. All Things Real Estate gives you expert advice on how to navigate the process of owning any real estate, from residential and commercial to industrial or even vacant real estate. We'll guide you through every square foot of information. Now, let's turn that for sale into sold with All Things Real Estate every Wednesday at 8:35 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
All Things Real Estate is brought to you by Law Boss Attorneys at Law.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Marlon Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity. Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and
and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for the nation's business. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
We're turning our attention now to the Jamaica Teachers Association. The process of selecting a new president-elect is currently underway across the island. 3 educators are vying to take over from Principal of St. Thomas High School, Mark Malav, who will replace the current president, Dr. Mark Smith, on August 31. The contenders are Lasagna Harrison, principal of St. Faith's Primary in St. Catherine, Jermaine Williams, who's a senior teacher at Manning School in Westmoreland, and Dr. Maureen Mullings, a practicum placement officer at Michael University College.
Just under 20,000 JTA members are expected to participate in the process. Meanwhile, as Dr. Mark Smith gets ready to demit office, he told Nationwide News that among his notable accomplishments are the One Academy AI lesson plan generator and the pushback against the Jamaica Teaching Council bill. Regarding unfinished business, Dr. Smith wants salary negotiations, which started earlier in the year, to be concluded before his tenure ends. Dr. Smith joins us now.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Wonderful.
Why would you consider the pushback against the Jamaica Teaching Council bill to be an accomplishment?
All right, that is an interesting way to look at it. The reality is we have a responsibility as a union to fight against what we consider unjust or unfair practices or laws that would in any way encumber the rights of our membership. And so I consider the ability for us to have our leaders pause, reflect on the legislation, the bill rather they're trying to push through to become a legislation, and to make what I consider common sense amendments to it. And so for me, that is a significant achievement.
I'm happy you use the term union, Mr. Smith, because one of my criticisms of the JTA has always been that it operates more as a union than an association. And according to your mission statement, it's supposed to look at beyond just the economic welfare of teachers, but the professional development and personal well-being of its members. Do you believe the JTA is living up to the secondary aspects of its creation?
Oh, absolutely. If you were to just, for an instance, pause and look at the broader discussions we tend to be engaging in advocacy, it is quite clear that we operate on two pillars. One, as a union, to fight unapologetically for the rights of teachers and to ensure that we promote fair practices by our employers, but also as a teacher association, fundamentally focused on the development of our educators. And so we can look at our Helen Stills Professional Development Day. We would have hosted since this year, under my tenure, we would have hosted the Early Childhood Conference at Shortwood Teachers College. We would have also hosted the Special Education Conference at the Shortwood College also. We have done many partnerships. The one with One-on-One is, for instance, one example of ensuring that we provide the tools and training to support our teachers to achieve their full potential while ensuring that we strengthen the educational product. And so I could go on with a litany of programs. There are education conference recently that focused on technology in general and how it can be used to advance education with a specific focus on artificial intelligence and leveraging that. So, that again creates a framework for one to understand that while it is that we have duties and responsibilities as a union, we are also very committed to the work of, developing our teachers.
The One Academy AI lesson plan generator, what's been a take-up like among the teachers?
Well, it's being rolled out right now. So the idea initially found its genesis, as my practice as a principal and as a parish president. And at Monroe, that was one of the concerns. We wanted more time for teachers to focus on one-on-one individual development plans with our students. And we realized that a lot of hours, many of them are their personal hours, were being spent doing lesson plans. I'm saying, in an era when we have artificial intelligence, we should really be seeking to automate what we can automate and allow that human contact, that human element, to be more focused on, helping to develop the holistic development of a child. And so I said, let's see if we can automate these processes. And when I became parish president, I focused on listening to them. So we did a lot of surveys and a focus group, and we realized a lot of them raised concerns regarding lesson planning and how time-consuming it was. And I thought, listen, I need to find someone who can help me. And that is when, we were for quite some time. I said, listen, I have the idea. I don't know how to operationalize it. And he brought his wealth of experience and knowledge to be able to help us develop this software that I think will be really a game changer. So we're doing things matches, and so it's primarily focused on secondary right now. So the one that's rolled out, the version is focused on the secondary level, trained on Jamaican curriculum, Jamaican content. And then we're expecting by September, we should be able to roll out our primary section, and that will help our primary educators. And then we have the early childhood thereafter. And so we're really providing an opportunity to support our teachers to achieve their full potential and give them back their time. And I think time is very important because a lot of our educators spend too much time outside of work, engage in other activities that are, unfortunately, very important for teaching and learning to be effective, but they're not paid for that. And we're saying, now we give you back your time. And I think that's a tremendous achievement.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Smith, speaking of the matter of pay, have you managed, as you said, you're trying to get this matter of the salary negotiations ended before your tenure comes to an end. How far along the wicket are you in terms of that?
We were the first union in end of November to submit. The last few days in November, we were the first one to submit our claim. We're the first one to have our clarification meeting. We were the first one to meet with the Ministry of Finance, and start negotiation. And so we have really been pushing on about any delays. Definitely was not on the side of the JTA. Obviously, it's a process. We have had some fierce, very very in-depth discussions with the Ministry of Finance. Sometimes got a bit heated, but at the end of the day, the point is that we have to walk over with the best possible deal for the teachers. I'm still committed to it, and there still is time, I believe, for what I consider good sense to prevail. I have a lot of faith, and I'm very optimistic that good sense will prevail, and we will be able to have a negotiated settlement that the teachers can be feel indicated in what would have been put on the table, and that the country will be happy with the fact that we'll be able to finally remove the friction of salaries that has too long lingered around the education sector.
And speaking of that friction, Dr. Smith, do you believe that too much of the JTA's time is taken up on this matter of salary negotiations and settling matters of emoluments and benefits, rather than, you said, the work that the JTA wants to put forward in terms of the professional and ethical improvement of teachers?
Well, you know what? I look at it like this, that at the end of the day, one can chew gum and walk. And so we do a lot of things at the JTA. Oftentimes, so I'd say, for instance, we partnered with eLearning Jamaica to open 4 coding labs on Labor Day at Micheltown Primary, Jesse Ripoll, Johns Rollins, Success Primary, and Coopers Hill Primary. So we're really doing these various activities around the country, adding value to the education system. But we have a responsibility to address a long, lingering issue that has created much disquietment to our teachers, much discomfort. It's left a bad taste in many teachers' mouths as it relates to salary and compensation issues. I would really like, for us to, just once put something before the teachers that can have them highly motivated going into the classroom come September. Now, I've said that the Prime Minister's Award, Achievement Award for Teachers recently, I said the first in our history that we have a Prime Minister that's a former education minister. We have a finance minister that's a former education minister. And I think we have a highly enthusiastic and energetic Minister of Education who needs to want to solve the fundamental issues that we face. And so I look at it and I think to myself, if ever we're going to do this, this would be the ideal time. We have people in the right places that understand the nuances of the child. We have been asking the teachers to deliver before we have paid them what I think is a fair and competitive salary. And the hero we're according to Antonio Guterres of the Secretary General of the United Nations has articulated that between 2020 and 2030 will be a 44 million shortage of 44 million teachers globally, that we have a responsibility to ensure that we secure the future of Jamaica by ensuring the pipeline for teacher education, training and development does not dry up. And it requires us to make the sector attractive while at the same time retaining the strong. And that is why in our negotiation claim, we have looked at things like an inducement allowance, a retention allowance. We're not just talking about raising salaries. While we do have a figure there for increasing the actual nominal amount, there are other things I think are very important. We have to strategically make some concessions as a country to ensure we are able to retain the brightest and smartest individuals to safeguard what I consider the quality of education that we desire.
Mm-hmm. And as you prepare to pass on the baton to Mark Malave, and then as you survey the 3 candidates vying to succeed him, are you confident that the future of the JTA will be in good hands?
Yes, I do. I'm a very optimistic individual, and I think that's the way to live one's life. Try to, you focus. There will always be challenges, and we have to deal with them as they come about. Mr. Mark Malave is a gentleman who has led Yellows High School with great distinction, and I trust that he will take all that he has acquired, all the experience over the many years, and to apply that to leading the strongest union in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. What's the status of the lawsuit brought by Lasagna Harrison against the association?
Well, it's still with our lawyers. Has not yet made it to the courtroom as yet. What is clear is that I'll admit it's a very peculiar situation we find ourselves in, but it is what it is. And I'm often a man not to spend my time focusing a lot on the rearview mirror, but I focus a lot on looking through the windscreen. So it is in strain. It's a process, and we have to do what we have to do as an association. She's a candidate in the race for president, and he is president rather, and we'll have to president-elect rather, and we'll have to see how that plays out. The candidates have made their case, and the teachers will speak. It's a democratic process, and at this time, we just wait like everyone else to see the results of the elections.
But shouldn't your members carefully consider that, though? Yes, that someone seeking to lead the association as president has also taken it to court, is suing it. Shouldn't your members carefully consider that when they make their decision?
Well, I think that any well-thinking member of the union will look at all the variables, all the arguments. Ms. Harrison would have put forward her position on why she took that stance. And so it is, I have much faith in our teachers that they will, evaluate all the information before them and make what they consider the right choice. It is, after all, a democratic process, and we have to respect that, however the result turns. And we just have to move forward thereafter, whatever the result is. So I'm not too perturbed by that, and at the end of the day, my opinion, I think, is irrelevant at this point as I look to the MIT office.
As irrelevant as you think your opinion is, Dr. Smith, I'm still going to ask you, don't you think that on the face of it, that should at least raise a red flag that disqualifies her?
Well, there's a certification process, and there is a general counsel that would have been given responsibility to examine the suitability of the candidates. And after, I guess, some deliberation, the decision was made to permit Mrs. Harrison to continue. And so I abide by that, and I think we should all do so.
You're not telling me your personal opinion as to whether you think she should be disqualified?
I think my opinion here, I would not want in any way to impact the elections. I have too much respect for the democratic process and the value of it and importance it holds in the very essence of what we are as an association.
But Dr. Smith, where does that leave the association if she wins in terms of the status of that lawsuit? She would be the one representing the JTA in a lawsuit that she herself brought?
Very interesting times ahead. That's all I can say. Very interesting.
It sounds, Dr. Smith, that you don't think she should have run.
As I said, my opinion on this matter is irrelevant here. That process has played out, or isn't the process being played out, and it is best for it to be left there. I don't think I should make any further comments on the matter.
Have your colleague members asked your opinion on the matter?
Yes, and I've decided as president that I should stay out of it.
So you have not shared a view one way or the other?
No, I don't think it is right as a sitting president.
Have you already voted?
Unfortunately, my mother got very sick yesterday, and so I was to attend to her at the hospital, and so I was not able to.
But the vote goes up until Friday, I understand?
Yes, but they're going parish by parish,
So you've missed your opportunity.
Yeah, my property right. The polls have closed in my parish.
I see. All right. Final word to your members who are going parish by parish now, making that decision as to who will become president-elect. What's your word to them?
Well, I ask them to look at the cases made by each candidate, to wait and to think about the strategic direction of the union. And I trust that they will make the right decision in the best interest of ensuring that we have a stronger JTA going into our 61st conference.
All right. And you return to Monroe come September?
Oh, I look forward to that. I look forward to returning to the amazing teachers and my incredible boys that are there. And we have a lot of work to do to continue to strengthen the standing of our males in society. And I have a big commitment to that.
All right. Dr. Mark Smith, he's demitting office as JTA president. He will demit office on August 31 and resume his substantive duties as the headmaster of Monroe College there in St. Elizabeth. Congratulations on your tenure, Dr. Smith, and we hope to continue to have conversations when you resume as principal.
Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to it.
All right. You too. That's Dr. Mark Smith, the outgoing president of the JTA. He says it's a peculiar situation. I think it's more than a bit peculiar.
That's my wording for it. Yeah. Very precarious.
Well, up to the teachers. We'll see what they do. We'll take the break and we come back with Nature's Remedies.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Experience the joy of buying a brand new Hyundai without breaking the bank. Yes, buying a brand new car should never leave you broke. From stylish designs and safety features to comfortable driving and reliability, Hyundai. Hyundai is the choice. Hyundai vehicles come standard with 2 years free service and 5 years warranty and roadside assistance for your peace of mind. Drive 2 years without service cost and 5 years without fear of being stranded. Hyundai. Conditions apply.
You've led teams, built businesses, and influenced change. Now, lead research that transforms your field. Apply now for the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean's Doctor of Business Administration or Doctor of Professional Practice. Flexible, research-based, and designed for working professionals. All UCC programs are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. Learn more and apply online at ucc.edu.jm. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
The gateway for Jamaica's athletes to several international competitions, including the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan, opens from Thursday, June 26 to Sunday, June 29 for the J3A Junior and Senior National Championships at the National Stadium, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. each day. The biggest names in local track and field, with the men's section including the likes of Olympic silver medalist Shane Thompson, Oblique Seville, Akeem Blake, Antonio Watson, Christopher Taylor, Olympic champion Roger Stoner, Rajendra Campbell, Wayne Pinner, and Romain Beckford. The female division will be no less fascinating, with two-time reigning world champion Sharika Jackson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, the Clayton Twins, Tia and Tina, Alana Reed, Akira Nugent, Rochelle Clayton, and Shanika Ricketts. The action will be sizzling.
Good God of mercy, hey. Good God of mercy, hey. Lord of mercy, hey.
Good God of Mercy. It's another edition of Nature's Remedies. That's a program to educate you about the uses of natural herbs. And tonight we'll be talking about the Dioscorea plant. Dioscorea?
Yes.
Sure, Doc will tell me how that's pronounced. As usual, we'll be opening the line so you can call in, and any questions you may have, you may post them to our resident pharmacognosist, Dr. Denise Daly. Hello, Doc.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, listeners. How are you guys?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you.
Dioscorea? What is that?
You got it. You got it right. Our good old yam.
Oh.
So it's just yam.
It's just yam?
It's just yam. Yes.
Oh.
So Dioscorea. So, do you know the different types of yam?
White yam, yellow yam, renta yam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I know.
All right, so that's a good amount. So that's 3. So overall, Dioscorea, or the yam genus, it has over 600 species of yam.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the different types. However, only about 10 to 12 of them are used as food. Now in Jamaica, we have roughly 8 to 10 different types of yams. And let me just list out a few of them. You have yellow yam, white yam, as you mentioned. The St. Vincent yam, you have so many different types of white yam as well. St. Vincent, your Lucy yam, Renta, Negro yam, Yampi, PP yam, the sweet yam, and fine yam. So there are different types of yam, and it all boils down to the fibrous nature, how easy is it to peel, the color of the tuber itself when you peel it, and the taste. One of the ones that we use most frequently is our yellow yam. So yellow yam is like the top yam.
Nice.
In Jamaican dishes.
Nice, with some curry chicken, Doc.
Yes, man. Or in some soup and so on.
Listen, man.
Now, so the yellow yam is the Dioscorea cayennensis. And I guess the cayennensis, it speaks to the taste of the yellow yam. So it have that little spiciness when you cook it, especially when it's a good dry piece of yam. So we're going to talk about some recipes with yam and also some remedies with yams.
Hold on, Doc, because you said you were listing the types of yam. Go again over them for me.
So you have Lucy, St. Vincent yam, Negro yam, Renta, yellow yam, sweet yam, PP yam, fine yam.
That's the one I wanted you to pause on. What is the PP yam?
The PP yam is a type of yam that in Jamaica we call, based on the shape, it looks
Oh, you mean
to the female anatomy.
Oh,
yes.
you mean the
and then
yam.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Oh.
And it's creamy. It's sweet.
It's creamy and sweet.
Creamy, it's sweet.
Crazy.
Ricardo, behave yourself.
That is crazy.
Ricardo, behave yourself.
So, wait, creamy and sweet is crazy. But how does that differ from the yellow yam?
It's in the tuber. How easily it peels, how it shapes, and the texture, how quickly it cooks. So it's soft. It has a creamier texture and a sweeter taste. So it gets that description, a common name. You know, Jamaican.
Anybody who call it so because it's creamy and sweet is not a Jamaican. That is crazy. But you were gonna tell us some recipes now. Go ahead.
All right. So before we get into some of the recipes. So yam porridge. Have you ever had yam porridge?
No.
Or yam smoothie. So that's one you should try. So you get the yam, you either can grate it or blend it. Boil it how you usually boil your porridge. Add coconut milk, your nutmeg, cinnamon, all the spices that you add to your porridge. And this is also a very energizing food. So build back your energy. You have a lot of work doing or you did a lot of work. This is a energy building food. So grab some yam porridge. Of course, you can spice it up with peanuts or little cornmeal. Tell me some other foods, green plantain. So you can add different things to it to add to the nutritional value. Because yam is rich in zinc, it's rich in your vitamins, it's rich in potassium as well. So good for the high blood pressure. We're going to talk about men's health and women's health and stamina that yam promotes as well. So that's one of the ways you can have yam as an energy food. This same yam, you can boil it, how we usually do, and make it into smoothies. So I would often tell clients, you can boil a couple yam pieces, put them in the freezer, and then drop them in your smoothies when you're making it. And again, it gives that resistant starch, which helps with gut health. Right, we spoke about the resistant starch, the type of starch that acts like fiber, and it kind of sweeps and cleans our digestive tract. So adding it to smoothies and just having yams throughout our week. At least once a week, you should be having yam, if not more.
So Doc, I'm surprised to hear this because when people think of things like yam, they tend to put it in the same category as things like rice.
Full of starch, right.
Yes,
that is what I grew up
as unhealthy.
That's what I grew up hearing, Doc, that you're not supposed to eat too much of it.
No, you see, yam has starch. When you cook it, you're going to have starch that's available and you're going to also have resistant starch. And that's where more research is showing, especially when you cook the yam and it cools, you have more resistant starch in the overnight food, similar with overnight cooked rice. Moderation is key, but again, every day we eat in rice, dumpling, and other grown provisions. So you should be having a piece of yam, a type of yam in the throughout the week as a part of your meals. It's much better than white rice. So we cannot remove yam and put white rice. That's very processed. And yam is a more natural type of starch with natural nutritious benefits and medicinal properties for our bodies.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, as a natural remedy. So yeah, we can, eat it and that's how we know it in our meals. But as a natural remedy, what are some of the benefits?
All right. So as a natural remedy, there are different ways you can prepare and use yam. So for example, menstrual cramps, PCOS, PMS. So these are all women-related issues. Yam is a good food to have as a part of the diet, but you can also have it as a tea. They'll boil the yam tuber, the root portion, and make it as a tea. I would also advise have it as a soup. That's how we usually do our soup. You cut up the yam, you boil it with other herbs and spices. That is good with helping with menopause symptoms, with PCOS, and with premenstrual cramps as well. You can also purchase wild yam teas. And if you have those teas, you can make a tea blend with red raspberry leaf or some cerasee and cinnamon. And these also help with hormonal balancing. And these are internal, right? So we're drinking the teas in that regard. For men, it also helps with sperm vitality. So it gets the sperm going, it gives that energy boost, and also acts as an aphrodisiac, help with fertility. So if the woman is having her yam smoothie and soup, the man is having his yam tea and his soup and his blend up, then fertility is an option that you can have going if that is the case, if couples want that. So that's the fertility, stamina, energy boosting. Then there is external, where the leaves and the vines can also be used as poultices. And poultices is when we crush the herb and we apply it externally to the skin. That helps with rash. It also helps with wound healing because it has anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidant properties. But there are other herbs that are better at it. So these are like, I always categorize them as an option, so to speak, right? So it has the properties. But one favorable property for the skin that we promote a lot with yam is allantoin. So allantoin is, especially in the tubers, it's great with healing the skin. So if you look on the cosmetic shelves nowadays, when they promote natural ingredients, allantoin is often one of those ingredients that you'll see in the forefront. And that's also found in our yam. So great benefits for the skin as well.
So tell me, Doc, you spoke to a few uses of the leaves and the vines of the plant. Is that aspect of the yam plant, or I should say the Dioscorea plant rather, is that aspect edible? And is there any benefits to eating it?
That is it. The leaf and the vine, they can be used as tea. In Jamaica, we don't really use it. In other cultures, they use it as tea. In Jamaica, we don't use the ear potato. That's the bulbous that grows above ground. We don't use it because it's toxic. Some cultures, they process it and they use it. Some varieties. So those cultures, they know the varieties they use. In Jamaica, we don't usually use it because we throw it away as toxic. The flowers are rarely used, but also used to make tea. So those aerial portion, the benefits are limited. It's not, you have better herbs that give you fever reducing properties or help with antioxidant or anti-inflammatory. So because we have better herbs with higher concentration of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory, helps with pain, we don't really use that in Jamaica. We use our other Jamaican herbs, but they are edible. But the tuber is the most ideal portion for food and for medicine.
I see somebody asking on YouTube, Doc, if the wild yam not scratch.
The wild yam scratch. All yam, when you're peeling it, can scratch. So growing up, my grandmother usually tell me, you put little oil on your hand or make sure you hold it as limited as possible when you start removing the skin. It does scratch. And you have to peel with caution. And speaking of scratching, white scratches, the compounds that are within the tuber. And I must mention the oxalates. Oxalates is a cause for like kidney stones and gout and a lot of issues within the body. And that is why we should be cooking our yam, to break down the oxalates so they don't cause issues within our bodies. The oxalates are like anti-nutrients. They pull nutrients away from your food and then they cause additional damages. Cooking helps to get rid of those.
All right, hold it there for us, Doc. We're up on the break. It's Nature's Remedies, and we're discussing yam, or scientifically, it's called Dioscorea. Did you know that? Soon come.
Gulling fever, what good for your nerves? So what's up and sapata, coconut water, fi wash off your heart. Hey, nobody could have said Rasta soft. Me gulling fever fast and never fever grass. Hey, spirulina we blending, so you know I'll be spending every dollar.
Guilty. Outperform, outlast. Guilty. We top performance. Guilty. Jackama. Reliable. Full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton. Available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61124. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 26th staging of the Jamaica Observer Tabletop Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 26th on the East Lawns of King's House. Get your tickets at Starbucks at AC Marriott, Starbucks Ligony, Starbucks Waterloo, Signature Boutique, Unit 9, Legal Business Centre, 31 Upper Waterloo Road, Uncorked 2, Constant Spring Road, Uncorked Barbican, Sovereign North, Uncorked Ochi, Draxhall, Uncorked West, Fairview Shopping Centre, Resort Way by Ereline, Shop 4 Progressive Shopping Centre, Kingston, Cafe Dolce, 114 Constant Spring Road, Kingston, Fromage Bistro, 8 Hillcrest Avenue, Kingston, and of course the offices of the Jamaica Observer in Kingston and Montego Bay. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly. The Faculty of Law at the UWMONA invites you to their 11th annual symposium under the theme Law and Justice in the Caribbean, Pathways to Development. Saturday, June 28 and Sunday, June 29 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel or attend online. CLPD credits available. Hear riveting discussions on AI, digitization and the law, gender sexual harassment and ethics, environmental and climate justice, CARICOM law and the CCJ. Register now at www.mona.uwi.edu/law or call 876-550-2680.
And now, a special message from our Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake.
In 2023, many of you told us how pleasantly surprised you were with our first Transformations Expo. Be prepared to be amazed at Transformations Expo 2.0, People, Quality and Technology, coming from 2 locations at the National Arena in Kingston and simultaneously at the Montego Bay Community College from Thursday, June 19 to Sunday, June 22. Bring your friends. Bring your family. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Hey, good God of mercy. Hey, Lord of mercy.
19 minutes after 7, we're inside Nature's Remedies. We're discussing yam, diascorea, that's a scientific name. 630-937-124, 618-8255. Anthony, good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm not bad myself.
What's your question for the doc?
No, not really a question, but just a weighing and something that was we all get excited about is PP yam.
Yes.
Just want to say that the PP yam is not really a cultivar variety of yam. It's the same round leaf yellow yam. That when it is not planted properly or because of some physiological malfunction, it rounds up. It doesn't go down as a normal tuber. So it's really the same yam. So it's not a different strain. It's not a different cultivar. It's just that the tuber is not formed properly because maybe the hill is not dug properly. Maybe it encounters unfavorable growing conditions and all of that. But I must tell you, it's a nice eating yam. I love it. It's wonderful. As the doc say, when it cooks.
Yes.
And
is it white? Is it white or
no? It's yellow.
It's the same yellow. Okay.
Yellow yam.
Okay.
It is the yellow yam.
Okay.
Another thing, and when you contrast eating yam, comparing with eating rice, yam is a much healthier start because of the glycemic index. It releases more slowly into the bloodstream, so it's a lot healthier to eat that.
Yeah.
And I guess the doc can.
Yes, that's what man. That's what she had said. Yes.
Yeah, man. It's a glycemic index that dictates that. All right.
All right. I appreciate the call, my brother.
Yes, thank you.
You have another caller, Doc. Wesley. Wesley, good evening.
Hey, Ricky.
Hey.
If you let me morning to talk to you.
What's up, going?
I listen back. Good evening, Doc.
Good evening, Wesley. How are you?
Seven.
Good evening. How you doing?
Man. Listen me now, Doc.
Yes.
Oh, Anthony said, because I was holding to tell you that is the same yellow yam, you know. But they have a thing where they say it depends on the moon sign you plant it under too. You get it round. But me see Ermin in the group, you see? I tell Marigold about the different yams in Ricardo. So,
what I say?
Yeah, man. Ermin, I recommend yams to you, man. So, I tell Marigold.
Okay.
So, well, I know. While she give the advice, no, if you know still the PP yam, they say Ricardo. If you're not carefully choke, you know, you have to drink something.
This conversation is
okay. With the
but I thought Doc
yam,
said it was creamy. So
exactly.
I thought Doc said it was creamy, so he can choke you.
Yeah.
It just if you're not careful, Ricky, that will choke your man. May I tell you, one wicked yam.
Hold on, the Doc is that how you going to choke you?
That is the thing. So the caller before, Anthony, he mentioned is the same yellow yam. But culturally, you have another, some people call the yellow yam when it grows that way, PP yam as well.
Right.
So I don't know if it's that one is a choking one. But then you have renta yam, again, when it grows like that. But the version that has that pale yellow shape like it, and it's creamy, that one we also use as PP yam. So there are different parts of Jamaica that have some of the varieties. But once it has that look and feel, they call it that, but
so you
nice Korea nonetheless.
So you have to be careful to eat the yam because it will choke
you.
Ricky,
I wonder if Marigold get the guy to call it.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to the Doc now. Thanks for the call.
Try for the creamier one then.
Listen, Doc never tell you about one next yam named Mozilla. You know what they Doc?
Mozilla, yes.
I don't know.
You know the Mozilla?
I don't know which. I've heard of it. I don't know which species is it, but yeah, we have a lot of yam.
Yeah, man, them grow big, and most time now with grandparents, they make that stay there and call it ratoon because it stay there for a couple of years, and then they get a lot of big yam in it. Right?
Yes.
And then you have one they call hard yam. Good. You know about the hard yam?
I hear it. I've never had it, though.
Right. And listen now, final thing now. I hope Papa Nana get the arrowroot. Because, you see, a long time you don't see arrowroot in the Doc. And you can talk about it last week. And then Friday when we go to the street at Alexandria in the center, you know. I saw a young man I sell arrowroot and I saw the people run down on it, you know.
Yeah, and man.
Some people come down and say, I want something in them. And I'll mean now I help them tell them what it's good for. And so to them Tuesday night, that I was on the radio and Nationwide talking about it, you know. So now tune into Nationwide, I know you hear good stuff.
All right. I love it.
Yes, sir.
May I give Nationwide the plug everywhere to, you know, for a tourist station. Yeah?
As you should, my brother.
Yes, same way.
All right. I'm looking out for the yam there on Marigold. I recommend to you, Ricky.
All right, my
brother.
All
right.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Alric, you're on the line. Good evening.
I'm Siobhan, Ricardo. Doc?
Yes, evening.
Ricardo, why you pull out that? Why you go back to make that go?
No, because
But I was waiting to show and you're going to make
No. You see, I missed it. I missed when she said PP and somebody messaged me and asked me, what is PP? And then I recall my producer had told me that was what we were going to be discussing, and I was surprised. And then it dawned on me that that's what she was trying to tell me. So I just wanted to be clear. What I did not expect, Alric, was that this yam was creamy and sweet and could possibly choke you. I didn't expect all of that. I'm telling you the truth.
All right, Doc.
Yes.
As Ricardo might know by now, I was born in St. Mary, a little place named Belfield. I used to the renta yam.
Yes.
That was what I was literally growing up on. We used to get yellow yam, but we would have to buy it in and not to be at the market, you know, and but the renter and that St. Mary soft yam is a different type of soft yam than when I came to Manchester.
Yes.
St. Mary soft yam is longish like. And if you keep it in the pot too long, it's
mash up.
Crush up. But I was growing up with renter and Dr. don't know, Ricardo might not know Siobhan about ratoon yam.
No, I don't know about that.
No.
I just know yam is yam. I just know white yam and yellow yam.
Okay. So the raccoon yam is the yam. You don't dig it this year. Like in St. Mary, where I grew up with the renter, father used to plant it under the cocoa, the chocolate trees, and it run up on that. And you don't dig, you leave around 10 roots of that this year and don't dig it. But you cover it down with trash here, where you don't put no fertilizer on it right now. You cut banana trash and the trash on the cocoa tree, and you dig it next year, and it grow bigger. And boss man, when you get a piece of that, it tastes completely different from the one where you eat last year. Or you that dig last year. But what I love about the yellow yam, this is my favorite.
Yes.
Saltfish, properly soaked out. Tomato, sweet pepper, and onion.
Yeah, man.
And Ricardo,
that them call it cook up saltfish. Now they call it cook up saltfish.
Oh man,
yes.
Right where Ricardo, and no one little piece in Ricardo. No one little. We give mama breakfast the other man and she asked for a saltfish.
So you don't boil the saltfish?
Yeah, man, him say properly boil.
Oh, no, it's a properly wash.
You get a nice piece of saltfish, Ricardo. Like and you get the yellow yam, man, and you soak out that saltfish properly, Ricardo, and 2 or 3 tomatoes.
No, so just because you soak the saltfish or you boil the saltfish?
You boil it out.
Oh.
You boil it 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 tomato, a nice piece of onion and sweet pepper. Ricardo,
like a scotch bunny.
Chicken back. Can't taste a good. And that's it. When the yellow yam properly ripe, it clam me up in your mouth when you eat that, Ricardo, man. That I enjoy that all the while. That's one of my favorite food.
No, me like cook up saltfish, but me like it with the dumpling, the banana, and the yam.
And the yam.
No, Ricardo, me not fully the dumpling, but give me that with 2 finger banana.
And the yam, you're good.
And you're good.
Yeah, man, and two peg of roast breadfruit.
Makes sense.
And I will die for that. That before I go.
Yes.
Last week you were discussing the gentleman talked about a while ago. That is
the arrowroot.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the main? What do you use it for mainly?
Arrowroot is similar to having cornmeal porridge or the yam porridge. So you can use it as a food in that regard. And you can also make teas and tinctures and use on your skin. Crush it out and use on your skin.
Okay.
So you can make porridge or smoothie, blend up.
Yes.
And it's energy boosting.
With the yam now, you make the yam smoothie because that it sounds interesting to me.
So boil the yam like how you would usually cook it. So you boil it and then use that same water. When it cool, blend it out. And then you can add your coconut milk or whichever milk.
Okay.
Yeah, and cinnamon, nutmeg, all your spices. And you can add peanut if you want, and other stuff that you do in your own blend up. Add a few moringa leaves or powder.
Blend up everything.
Yes, so just blend up everything. Vanilla.
Yeah.
And
nutmeg
energy
and
boosting.
All right, then. Thanks. Have a good day, Ricardo.
All right,
You're welcome.
Yeah, man, you too.
Yes.
Ludlow, good evening.
Good evening, Ricardo and Siobhan and the doc.
Good evening, Ludlow.
Doing all right.
I was asked to find out what is yam good for muscle building and if it is good for overall health.
The yam?
Yeah. And which yam is good for muscle building? In more specific terms.
Well, okay, so overall, there's no research to say which one is better for muscle building, but for overall energy boosting, you want the yellow yam. The yellow yam is very good for that, and the heavier yam. So the yellow yam, the white yam, the renta yam, St. Vincent. I'm trying to remember the texture because it's a long time. I don't have all of the different types of yam, but they are good with boosting energy and act as an anti-inflammatory as well. In terms of muscle building, it doesn't have a lot of protein to build up muscle, but it has allantoin, which helps with repair, skin repair, and cell repair. So although you're tearing the muscle, if you're exercising a whole lot, you're tearing the muscle, that can help to repair the muscle damage at a cellular level. And the tuba have more of that.
Okay. One more thing before I go. There's a lot of promotion about high protein and low carbohydrate for optimal health. How factual is that? Is there any research to suggest that high protein and anything that is carbohydrate, it doesn't matter if it is resistant or whatever, it's carbohydrate, just starch. And high protein is being promoted and low carbohydrate. Is that a good thing? Because I think they should be balanced.
It should be balanced. There are a lot of fad diets out there. For example, the keto diet is out there. You have a lot of diets, but these diets are specific to particular persons with particular needs or so on. Like high muscle builders or weightlifters, their diet will be higher protein, more protein than their carbs because they want to build up more muscle. For the regular exercise, male and female, overall human diet, it should be balanced. A balance of protein, a balance of carbohydrate. In terms of the different types and the fats as your main nutrients, right? Your macronutrients. In terms of the types of carbohydrate, our bodies will not absorb the resistant starch and the fiber, so it passes out. But we need it as a part of our diet to keep us healthy and for gut health. Our bodies will absorb the glucose part of the carbohydrate diet. And that's what we need as our first source of energy. That's what we need for energy storage into glycogen. So we do need carbohydrates in our diet. But if we are on a weight loss journey, we're overweight, we have a lot of glucose being stored as glycogen. So in that case, we want to burn off those. So we would reduce the amount of carbs we take in so we can burn off what we have. So again, it depends on if you want to lose weight or gain weight. Are you a bodybuilder or a long distance athlete? That's where diet modification comes in. But overall, balanced diet.
Thank you, Doc.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Thanks, Ludlow.
Thank you.
Doc, the calls are coming in. You have another one. Papa Nana, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
Good evening. I am not going to touch your root at all, sir, but somebody just asked me to tell that. Good evening, Doc. Good evening, Ricardo.
Good evening.
Good evening, Papa Nana. How you doing?
Yeah. A caller just asked me to call you people and tell you that the yam that choke you, it is Apu yam.
Afu, yes, Apu yam.
Yes, and it's not the PP yam that choke you because...
You see again, different parts, eh?
Excuse me, goodbye.
Goodbye. Because I don't know you know that. So you know that. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Kevin.
Goodbye, Papa Nana. Courtney, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, in regards to that yam you guys talking about, I mean, every parish might call it a different name.
Yes.
But the same Afo, Bugu Bugu, we call it Bugu Bugu Afo, a.k.a. Pum Pum Yam. Pum Pum Afo.
Sir, PP. PP or
Well, sorry. Well,
yes.
Not the dirty way.
Remember, this is national radio, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. But anyway, it's a question I want to ask the doctor. You ever heard of a bush they call fresh cut?
Yes, it's on the list coming up. But yeah, share.
What's the right name for that bush, and what it good for?
Fresh cut. I can't remember the name. I'm not going to get a wrong species. But as the name suggests, it's nature's bandage. So I don't want to give away too much, but it's once you have a cut, you crush up the leaves, you can put it on it, and it creates like a plaster and allows the wound, even if it's a very deep wound, it allows it to heal and close.
Oh.
In a short space of time as well.
But it's also a bush that would boil and drink. But I'm not sure what's the real purpose of it, you know.
Yeah, it has astringent properties as well and antimicrobial, so that help with the wound healing and preventing microbes. But we'll go into more details on it, and I'll tell you the scientific name. It's really not coming to me now, but yeah, and we have a lot in the cooler parts of the island.
Definitely. It grow like running mint, but it had a fine leaf. Yeah. Just curious. I mean, I only know it as fresh cut. I'm not sure what the right name for it, so that's why I'm asking.
As in Marigold calling it heel and draw.
That's another common name.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, okay. The one that we call we use it to plant as fence posts.
Mm-hmm.
And we call it Never Dead also. Does it have a proper, a right name, or another name? We only call it Never Dead because normally when you plant it as fence posts, it just keep catch and become a big tree. And I always pick it and drink it, have a nice smell. You know, when you boil it, make tea, it have a sweet, nice smell. Not sure what the proper name for it either. You know, I'm just curious about the name. Because, I mean, everybody calls it a different name.
Different name. I don't remember which one is, I remember Never Dead, but I don't remember which plant that is. So once I can tell this.
Most people plant it as fence posts. And normally we use it as fence posts, it don't die. It don't dry up. So I will catch.
Yeah. I don't know which one. I know the plant, but I don't know the name of it, the scientific name of it. And we use a lot of cherry wood in southern Clarendon part growing up. So I know that one is in the cooler parts.
All over the island, everybody use it plant, use it like fence posts. You know. But appreciate that though. I mean when I refer to people, I always want to find the right name for it. But
Justicia, yes, Justicia. Yeah. That's fresh cut. Fresh cut, Justicia.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
William, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks. Good evening, Doc.
Good evening, William.
Siobhan is with me, William.
Good evening, Mr. Campbell.
Good evening, Sir William. How are you doing?
Yeah, the gentleman a while ago, this tree what I'm speaking about is gross stick. Or some people call it quick stick because it catch very quick, so they call it quick stick. But the right name is gross stick. It is a very it's a very good cold bush also.
All
right. So I'll look for the scientific name.
Yeah, man, it's up in, especially in Portland, we used to use it to run cow pasture. So I used to use it line post, we used to take it run with cow pasture. Yeah, man. If you plant it till by next week, so long rainfall, you see it start. If you don't have to get no water, catch very quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the, when Wesley was telling them so that choke you, or it choke you, if you eat it hot, in a bad way, if you make it cold, come like you write asham.
That's a powdery thing, yes.
Right. Well, when it get cold, something similar like asham, you have to have water. You can get no problem with it.
I see.
But there's I hear you leave out, doctor.
Which
I
one?
hear what they call junk yam. You know it?
I hear it before, but I've never had it.
Okay. It has some ear on it. It ear, our letter ear on it. Also, it is a white yam, and it's very easy to cook like Renta or Sylvanson.
Yeah.
But it grow more straight. It almost grow like Lucy yam.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very nice yam.
All right, William. Thanks for the call. And the calls keep coming. Doc, Michael is on the line now. Yes. Good evening, Michael.
Good evening, sir. How are you this afternoon, sir?
Doing well. What's your question for the doc?
No, listen to them talk about the different grades I am and thing and evaluate everything. You know what I mean? Eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we grow a lot of yam, you know.
Oh, you grow a lot of yam?
Yeah, man. We used to grow like Negro yam, yellow yam, yellow yam, rent a Sinzins man and thing there.
Nice.
Yeah. But me like how you call how that come now and I show the value of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
So look here now. We don't like the yam now. With the yam, you know, the value in the yam, you know, me like how you're talking about ital things, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because you don't know, some Rasta ital things, the deal with it, and the yam is a part of the ital part of living, man.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because see where you tell them, say you put it in the blender, you blend it up with more things and make punch and thing, man. Yeah,
man.
Doctor like the work where you do, man. Because even one time, when the last week you mentioned about the arrowroot.
Yes, we have to.
We have that grow in my place ordinary while, you know? Yeah. One time again, you're talking about eucalyptus.
All right. Yeah. I love listening, man. Good.
Yeah, the things you're up in my mountain, in the Blue Mountain here, man.
Yes, the cooler part.
So that
we have to just...
Say that again.
We have to just use our herbs because we have it on the island. We have it in our space. So use it for food and for medicine.
Yeah, man, from 1972, I just natural things to deal with, you know. I don't deal with no form of flesh and things in my food, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's why your listeners and just go and enjoy the rest of the evening, because I know say you have some more listeners who also something to you, know.
All right, Michael.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much.
All right. 630-9371-461-88255. Just to remind you, listeners, that Dr. Daly is having a natural wellness workshop. Yeah. And workshop 3 is for men's health. And the topics to be covered: increased stamina and sleep, fertility, and reverse erectile dysfunction naturally. It starts Wednesday, June 18. That is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
And there are 3 meetings, 1 per week for an hour, and it's virtual. And I made sure to secure the assurance from Doc that you can go on and change your name. So you don't have to put your actual name if you want to ask any kind of sensitive question. Doc will also have Q&As, so you can pose your questions and get your answer. Registration, if you want to register, send an email to drdenisedaily@gmail.com. That's DRDENISEDALEY@gmail.com. And you can also find her on Instagram or Facebook at Dr. Denise Daily. It's not expensive. $15,000 for the workshops. It's that's $100 or 140 Canadian dollars, and you get the seminar, you get class materials, and you get your checklist, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
And just to add, it's only men registered so far, so no ladies. So the men are going to carry the information back to the ladies if they need them to help cook and prepare the herbs. But men, you're in a safe space for us to discuss natural health.
Yeah.
So, Doc, can you tell me, is it that each different type of yam has unique health benefits, or is it just that the yam itself has the same properties regardless of whether it's white yam, yellow yam, or any other types?
So the yam itself, Dioscorea, they have the same type of compounds, the allantoin, saponin, Dioscoregenin, and different varieties of it. But different yams have different amounts of polyphenols, tannins, and some of the other antioxidants. So that gives it the color and the different flavors. So at the core, all the yams can help with energy boosting. They all have the benefits of potassium, the B vitamins, and the nutritional properties. Additional medicinal properties comes with the color, like the purple yam. It's a higher antioxidant yam. So if you boil it as a tea, it helps with the immune system, and it helps with modulating with the hormone. And for men, boiling the purple yam, blending it up with pumpkin seed, cinnamon, flaxseed in coconut milk or any milk that you want, is very good for stamina. So we'll talk about some of these different stamina drink and blends tomorrow as well. So those are the little details in terms of the differences in the yams.
Another call for you, Doc. Ian is on the line. Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Ricardo. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, Doc.
Good evening. Good evening, Ian. Thank you.
Yeah. I have a little problem. I don't know if you can help me. I have a belly fat. I want to remove it. I don't know if anything you have in mind can remove that.
What, you said the belly fat?
Yeah, I would like to move the belly fat. Sometimes, I know probably exercising probably is part of it, but I know there's something much can remove it away from exercising.
Yes, because with the belly fat, what you have is a high amount of the adipocytes, we call it, or the fat cells, and they're storing in that area. So what we'll do, for example, if we're doing a consultation, we'll look at what is causing the storage. Is it alcohol? Is it too much carbs, meaning dumpling, bread, etc., or just lack of exercise? So it's a combination. There are teas, herbs and teas that can help to break it down faster. But I always tell there's no quick fix without exercise. So the herbal teas, if you were going to burn 10 kilogram or 10 grams of fat with the herbal teas, it makes you burn more, like 20 or 30. Those are just random figures. So that's how teas will help if they're labeled as a fat reducing tea or a weight reducing blend or remedy. So that's what we could look at. Busy is one, but busy you have like once a week and you exercise or do some walking. I'd also advise after you eat, do some walking, at least 15 to 20 minutes of walking, some movement. And what it does, it prevents more storage of food, because it's not just fat cause belly fat, but the carbohydrate cause belly fat as well. How much rice in your plate, how much dumpling, when you cook the size of the dumpling, these things will store as fat as well. So it's a combination of things, but we can work on that. Weight loss workshop coming up later down the year, because once you know the cause, you know how to then tackle your weight loss journey.
Right. But one thing I'm afraid to even get up in the morning and exercise, that is a part of the problem. I exercise sometimes, but I'm afraid every time I get to and try to exercise, after a while, you get pain up. Your body, you
just have to work through it, though.
Yeah, you have to work through it, because you see, especially if it's a long time you don't work out, listen, the day after, you're going to feel it. But then if you continue, it becomes less. The pain is reduced. And that's just where your muscle getting used to this movement. It's like a car and you just start driving it again. You hear a little sound, but by the time you drive out, it good again. So do those little things.
I like to driving, so probably that is no problem.
So come out and stretch. Any spot you get that you can stop and rest, do some stretching and reduce the carbs.
Okay. All right, thank you, Doc.
You're welcome. And the late eating, remove that. Try not to eat after 7 and so on.
No, I don't normally eat late at night.
Okay, good.
All right. All right, thanks for the call.
All right, thank you.
Ermin on YouTube was asking you, Doc, how to remove fat from the liver.
Fatty liver. Oh, so one of the remedies that we have for with yam is actually yam with bitter herbs. So that's a liver detox blend. So bitter herbs like Cersei, boil it with the yam. That tea, good with liver detox. For fatty liver, bitter herbs. So neem is excellent. So having neem tea, just one tea bag or 1 teaspoon. You can have that like 3 times per week thereabout, and then for like 3 weeks, and then you rest. Moringa is a good tea to add to your daily routine as well. So there are quite a few herbs. You have kwasha bark, rice bitters. So the bitter herbs are excellent with liver and fatty liver. And of course, you modify your diet.
All right. Tonight is a call night, Doc. You have another call on the line. Who is it? Who is it, Bugs? Anthony. Good evening.
All right, good evening. It's me again. I'm back. I was early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that quick stick that the gentleman was talking about, it is also called Sylvanson plum or Sylvanson bush. It's a very good cold bush. It gets rid of severe coughs and all of that. But the correct name for it is actually Gliricidia.
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 Okay. All right. Thanks.
Right, and that yam that the gentleman from St. Mary is talking about, that straight soft yam that melts away in the pot, it's duck yam.
Duck
yam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just thought I would add that.
All right, Anthony.
For information, all right?
Appreciate the call.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Doc. So we've learned a lot about yam.
Yeah.
And Doc, you know what Siobhan over here at Google?
What?
Golden Bowl Restaurant Chinese food.
No, I'm looking for duck yam.
You know, here's a duck's enough to eat their ones, yeah.
I'm looking for duck yam, as the man called it, which I can't find. I can't find duck yam.
Very well.
I find renta yam, I find all of the yam. I'm looking to find a duck yam.
All right, Doc. Thank you so much. So remember, guys, to sign up for the session that starts tomorrow. And just to remind you that you sign up at drdenisedaily@gmail.com, workshop 3 on men's health to increase stamina and sleep, fertility, and reverse erectile dysfunction naturally. Yeah, it's a natural wellness workshop with Dr. Denise Daily. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, and have a good night.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
All right, listeners, just before we go, a bit of politics. We're understanding that the JLP leader, Dr. Andrew Holness, met with the team of prospective candidates for the JLP today. And the information we're getting out of that meeting is that he basically told them, get set. Or on your marks.
Get ready.
On your marks. On your marks. Because get set would be the next one and then we go. So he said, basically, on your mark. So it seems the JLP is now formally entering into its campaign period. We also understand that a lot of paraphernalia, was given out. We can take one more, because I know there were some people who wanted to talk the politics. If we can get one more, we can squeeze it in. 630-9371-2461-88255. Probably can take one more before we go. But yeah, here we go, Siobhan. The Olympics of journalism. I heard it called a general election. They say it's the Olympics of journalism. So everybody needs to start readying themselves. It seems that the hour is indeed now.
I think the country is kind of on edge. It just wants to kind of get it into
over
it, get it over with at this point. It feels like it's been dragging on for a long while. I think this has been one of the longest campaign periods in my memory.
The run up to it.
Yes.
Richard, you're the final caller. Good evening.
Hello. Am I on, Ricardo?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I just got home from work and I was listening to the program where they was talking about the best yam.
Yes.
But you guys, I never hear anyone speak about people from Upper Chilani.
Which one of the yam is from Chilani?
Alberton was a spring setting where from the South Chilani here.
Oh,
plant yam. That's our industry there. That's what we do. We plant yam in Trelawney.
So it's just called a Trelawney yam?
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
We are known for yam.
Ah, got you.
And the best yam that would choke you is the PP yam. You know, I don't have to say the word.
You're right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The best yam.
Yes.
So whenever you speak about yam, you have to get the opinion from the people from
Trelawney.
From Trelawney.
I hear you, my brother. Next time I'll make sure.
we even have we used to have the festival for yam.
The yam festival. Oh, so do like the roast yam and so.
Roast yam.
I get you.
Yam pizza, yam pine, yam lotion, yam everything.
Oh, okay. So why stop keep? Why stop keep?
It beat me. Believe me. And it was such a enjoyable thing every Easter where we have the whole Albertown used to be black with people from all over the country. I don't know why they stopped keeping.
You know, Richard, a lot of those things we're losing. You know, because I was wondering the other day, things like even the kite festival.
Yes.
Do they still have those things?
I'm not sure. Yes, man.
Okay.
Yeah. You still have it. You still have it, but the yam festival was it was such a big thing. I don't know where they stop it.
I see.
We need to get.
I see Howard Morrison on YouTube telling me that it might be because of COVID. Was that about when it stopped?
It stopped long before COVID.
Oh, long before. Okay.
Because I was off the island and I came back in 2016 and it stopped before that.
I see.
So we need to talk to MP now and see if she can if they can organize it because it was a major income for our industry right there.
I get you, my brother. I get
where we have everything made from here.
All right.
Made from here.
All
right. So you guys enjoy it. So what I enjoy the thing that, you know, Ricardo is one of my favorite guy and my favorite station. So I
appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate that.
You guys have a wonderful evening.
You too.
And, even though I don't call every time because I know I have to work, but
yes.
I always listen to you guys. Right?
All right, my brother. I appreciate your company.
All right. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. All right, that's all the time we have. Dana Davey, our hardworking producer, thank you so much. I agree, Rebecca, they should bring it back. Some of those things that, that have slipped into oblivion, I need to bring them back, man. Some of the things from my childhood, like, the Penny them still make the trailer truck with the box, them?
I can't imagine so.
Yeah, man, they don't need to bring back something. They still have to hide and seek.
Those are our days,
Ah, man, they need to bring it back.
Everybody's looking at them phones and tablets now.
I'm marble, have your tar. Everybody something, man. Yeah, put on a tablet, go touch some grass. Andrew Glenn Anderson, the man behind the controls, and our colleague in the newsroom, the best in the business, led by our editor, Cara Powell. Our sponsors, contributors, you are valued listeners, and our viewers on YouTube. Thank you all so much for sticking and staying with us. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good evening.
The gateway for Jamaica's